And with this, I believe I'm going to show my new intro because I got everybody on tap. Wait. Oh, me, oh my. Why do I not have my new intro in here? Or did I move it? Oh, I did. What are the humans doing?
Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning your lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile, yeah. Signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. So if you think you're ready, you don't need more proof. Conspiracy deniers are denying the truth. They fabricate our problems and pretend to provide the best solution, but we all know they lied. They lied about the weapons and they lied about health. They lied about the fact that they're transferring the wealth. You should really notice how they're pushing the fear. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. Yeah. Everybody's not thinking clear. Keep everybody terrified. Yeah, thinking and not thinking. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. When you do, you realize that this is their trick. It's getting really stupid now, they're taking the mick. Said, do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile, yeah. Signaling their virtues on their profile.
Make me suck the sushi off this stick.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am 3 subscribers above 5,000. So we're officially going to do this thing because, you know, what else am I supposed to do? Big D, what's up, bud?
Yo, is this thing on?
It does appear to be. Sweet Acres Koi Farm, welcome in. We got Midlife Bro Logic, American 101, Anti-At-Jack, and I believe that's Cat Attack, but she's changed some stuff. So now she's C4. Jody FJ, welcome in. Appreciate it, everybody. Not gonna lie, I'm not gonna drink a whole bunch tonight. Not doing it. Not doing it. Because I don't have
That sounds
enough.
like you're doing it.
What?
That sounds like you're doing it.
I mean, if I had a donation method, I'd go $2 shots or something. I don't know, but I don't. So we're gonna have to do this by the wild seats of our pants, as it were. Link is pinned in chat if y'all can figure out how to make that work. Sometimes it works best if you go to the actual source channel or one of the source channels. Hold on, I'll share it backstage. So wait, no, that's not backstage. It's over here. What's up, King Schnard? You can pop that over there if you want to, big dog. So what do you think about Twitter monetizing their streaming?
I hate it. I hate Twitter since Elon took it over. He ruined it. He made it even worse than the socialists did, the fake
Well, that's an
commies.
impressive feat by itself, bro. I mean, like, what specifically is worse now than it was 4 years ago?
Everything about it. He changed the layout, the way the comments are, the engagement. My engagement dropped off a cliff. They don't ban people anymore. They just shadow ban everyone now. You have to pay for everything.
Let me run this one by you. In the previous iteration of Twitter, my name would not be approved. They just left it in the unapproved file, and I couldn't like try to establish another one because I had attached everything to this, and I was like, okay, that is cat attack. I just wanted to make sure. Who else we got? Got anybody?
So
else?
I used to, during that regime, I complained about that regime. Now, in retrospect, I would have rather just like known all the words I can't say.
Right? See, that's one thing I hate about YouTube. If they would just freaking print out a list of things not to say, that would help everyone involved so very much. We could just read the list and be like, oh, okay. Even if we don't like it, we can say, okay. I mean, am I wrong?
No, I'm with you on that. I don't want to. We're deep into this, whatever this is, America, whatever you want to call this crap. Yeah. But when you and I were young, we could say whatever we wanted on the internet. So I would love for those days to return.
I remember
that.
Call of Duty chat, bro. Like,
yeah.
I had people threatening to come into my house and do horrendous things to everyone involved. What's up, Joko? Welcome in, bud.
And another excellent opportunity for clarification. I would say that's a crime, and that shouldn't be included under free speech, right? So I should be able to criticize the World Health Organization. I should be able to criticize the election process in the United States. It's the country I live in. It's my fucking country, right? But I shouldn't be able to like threaten you and say I'm going to do stuff to you.
But I mean, this is kind of the difference between a self-regulating platform versus like the wild, wild west of 2005 Xbox, right? I mean, I would prefer the 2005 Xbox. It would not upset me if I woke up tomorrow and found out that YouTube had been purchased by some insane billionaire and he removed all the clutches, right? All the brakes off and everything goes wild, wild west again. I think it would be hilarious. Just imagine fucking snowflakes just fruit and slam out. All right, so I actually had a show kind of put together for this, sort of, kind of. I wasn't actually expecting to do this for about another week, and so I don't have it completely laid out in front of me, but I do have a few tidbits we can go look at if interested. Otherwise, we can sit here and BS for the next hour, and if nobody else hops up on the panel, well, that's the way that goes. Hey, I got a trick. We're gonna try this. Joe Cool. And that should do. It's like Beetlejuice, but for black people. Yeah, it's kind of been a real weird sort of trip up to this point because I've never really put a whole lot of stock into subscriber count when it comes down to it, really. Right. Some people get lucky and hit a really big video and they have no other reason for having an enormous subscriber count. And you have other people who have been drudging through the same general type of content for 8 years now, 5 years now, and they're still sitting around with 150. And I started my channel specifically to try to figure out what is the difference between a channel that does an almost identical job or an identical product to, say, Tim Pool, and yet here's Tim Pool with bajillions of subscribers and this other guy over here doing the same thing. How is it that these two what's up, midlife? Welcome in, bud.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah.
All right, cool beans. What is it that just makes the distinguishing difference between a successful channel and a channel that could be deemed to be unsuccessful? Is it the drive? Is it the determination? Or is it the interaction level that goes into like chat and stuff like that? I mean, like midlife and Denizen, you too, to an extent. Y'all both go out there and y'all run these YouTube streets. Y'all are in the chats. Y'all are in the freaking live streams. You're on the panels. You're doing the footwork, right? What's up, Firm? And not specifically about you, but we can. Sometimes all you have to do is say hawk to her. Yeah. Or for the boys. That works sometimes. So I don't know. I mean, midlife, have you encountered any significant stumbling blocks on your YouTube career so far?
Yeah, it says is this thing monetized or not? What's going on
No,
there?
I'm not monetized.
Why is
No,
it?
my last video is why is it off?
Did you turn it on before you went live?
Oh my fucking god! Is it no? So that means what is this crap?
That means you can't monetize the views you got while you were live, but if you
Are you
monetize
effing kidding me? Are you effing kidding me? Why was it not?
Why
was it not monetized?
I
I'm going
don't
to say the error lies somewhere in between the keyboard and the chair.
Yeah, it's probably a like a, what do they call it, a headspace error.
ID 10.
Yeah, yeah, that's right, an ID10. You got it.
Dude, I'm pissed off. Like, it's why the F was it off? Why?
I don't know.
I'm pissed off.
Here's one bit of advice I can give to most any YouTuber out there deciding to stream. Once you get started streaming, figure out the mechanisms that are available to you in YouTube, in your analytics while you're live. Learning to manipulate all of that stuff while I'm live has become a significant portion of what I'm doing backstage. You know, this is one of the reasons why I produce for other channels, is in order to see the type of activity that's taking place, I have to be inside the YouTube creator studio with my analytics up and running live to kind of see what different topics do on the fly. Right.
Hey, you know what?
Hmm?
I just realized I've actually been really curious about this particular subject for the last several weeks. And you two are the ones I'm most curious about.
What do you want to know?
Why do you want subs?
I want to be a professional YouTuber. I want to make money. I want to quit all of my other ways of making money, and I just want to be like PewDiePie, pretty much.
But
you think just having subs is how you get there? Can you walk me through why you think subs means money?
Let me try to run this.
It does.
I might say this wrong. Okay. I might come across with like the wrong lingo, but stick with me. So YouTube utilizes, I think it's called a CPM metric for payment. And the more subscribers you get, the higher your CPM metric. And so if you have 50,000 subscribers, you get paid more for 1,000 views than someone with 5,000 subscribers. 4,000.
How much more? 10 times as much?
It's a sliding scale, and I'm not entirely certain because I haven't gotten far enough in people's back end dope to find out exactly. And not a lot of people have shown me their monetary analytics, right? They'll show me all of the views and the counts and all that stuff, but when you start getting into things that involve their money, they start getting a lot more closed mouth on it, you know. So,
seems to me it'd be more effective and efficient to focus on the monetization that's available.
That's true. And the monetization that is available on the low end are your super chats, your memberships, And what's the other one, Barney? I can't remember what's the third one. Super chats, memberships, and there's like a third thing.
AdSense. You get to see the commercials.
No, before AdSense. Oh yeah, exterior links. A monetized
Some kind
channel.
of, like
Exterior.
Shopify or something. I haven't.
There's yeah. I haven't looked into that yet real hard. I've just recently figured out how to go about attempting to monetize my channel without completely breaking everything I've done so far.
It seems to me you make the same in one night of super chats than you would with like 150,000 views on a video.
Right, you can. It can. Yes, that is possible. So if you get okay, let's say you've got a show going like Flow State does. I use him as an example because of the level of super chats he does run it. Right, that is a very high turnover rate. That is an amazingly high turnover rate. I study that guy like a freaking paramecium on a slide. I have no idea how he does it, what he's doing, or what he's pulling off, but I plan on bottling it and selling it to other YouTubers if possible.
Well, he charges for interaction.
He made a statement and it stuck with me. He says he's selling inclusion.
Right.
Really like that concept. I really dig it. You know?
So this is what makes me curious. If you want to be a professional YouTuber, why aren't you, emulating that kind of business model over the pennies?
Okay, now I get what you're saying, but the AdSense adds reach to otherwise innocuous videos. When you are accepted into an AdSense, the YouTube partner program, YouTube supposedly takes a little bit of stake in that because the more you make, the more they make. And so they are more likely to promote a particular channel over another channel, assuming that you've done things like the double verification and all of that stuff, right?
It's all a bunch of strangers, though, who aren't invested in your channel or your growth.
That's true, but everyone is a stranger that's not invested in the channel until they get to the channel and decide they like it or hate it. Either way, it's effective.
Right, but you got like a base audience that actually enjoys your content, likes your personality, wants to spend time watching it.
Sure.
And then you do something like the vertical streaming, which, brought in probably 1,000 times more strangers. But
Sure.
most of your friends and followers are like, fuck this shit, I'm out, right? Because it's visually cancer.
Don't look at what we got going on. My man, that's my baby boy. That's
It
my
worked.
It worked. I told you.
I can't get this guy on my panel anymore. I don't know if I pissed him off or if he's just too big for me now that he's big people. But
right, okay, I got
my best friend on YouTube doesn't come on my panel anymore.
You ain't got the fucking swag, dude.
Congratulations, Sasquatch. I had no fucking idea you had so many subscribers. Jeez.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Let me get you turned up so we can all hear you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, baby. When you gonna come let me do a Sasquatch Shields for you, bud?
Is that an interview?
I'm a legitimate. I simply wish to do a handful of questions.
No.
Nothing personal, just YouTube based.
No, man. I don't listen. I don't want to get deep, but
it's kind of like a ask me anything, except I'm the only one asking, and you can
exactly.
be like,
what kind of man? What kind of man agrees to that? And what kind of low self-esteem do I got to walk into a room?
Bro. You don't got to be low rent. You just got to show up and have a little bit of fun. Talk to the people in chat. Chill out for 54 minutes and then go somewhere else. I don't care what you do.
And then have a one-sided conversation where a motherfucker get to ask me to what advantage of mine is that? Is my question.
Am I supposed to always benefit you on everything
Not
that I do?
Not you per se. Interview. Not you. Interviews, period. I don't see the logic in them.
You're a Pokemon. You are one of the YouTubers I wanted to interview. Disorderly Product News. Right before he died, he had told me that as soon as I had enough people to actually people in chat, that he'd come on. And like a week later, he was dead. I cried. I cried like a little baby. I
I
sat there.
did too.
Oh my God, I'm never gonna get this, man. There's no way. It's impossible now.
Yeah,
What do I do if tomorrow Joe Cool doesn't show up when I drop a StreamYard link and say your name 3 times?
what are the odds of that? And trust me, I didn't hear you say my name.
Well,
I
the
just
way you
happened to
fucking
pop
talk,
up.
it's relatively likely. I mean, you are of the melanated variety.
I feel the vibrations, yes.
He didn't hear his name. He just felt a disturbance in the force.
Yes.
I have a disturbance.
And to what, any of y'all,
Peace.
tell me, to what advantage is it to do an interview? I could think of some.
What?
I would get more viewers.
Wrong button.
Yes, that's a good one. But I'm not motivated in that area. That's why
I'm trying to find like-minded individuals online, so I'm not against exposure. So, like, I definitely I'm not doing anything to get more subs.
All right.
I at a certain point, I'm gonna try to not get any more subs. Right? I want to stay small.
Yeah.
But I still want to cast a wide net if possible. Like, I'm not going to deliberately make my net small for no reason.
I understand
Let me run it by you this way, Joe.
Yeah.
You run around in First Amendment circles, panelverse circles, and places where people physically talk to one another with strong opinions, right?
Oh, yeah.
I interview virtually every genre of channel that I've stumbled across and realized that they had a little echo chamber. My net's a little wider than most. So yes, you have plenty of subscribers. It never hurts to at least have a conversation in front of some new people that have never heard of Joe Cool. And whether you believe it or not, there are people on YouTube who have never heard of Joe Cool.
I know that's right. Yes, all right.
But it's your call. I'm not going to make you do nothing.
No, you're not. I not do the big-headed shit, but I get a lot of interview requests. I ain't did one. If I did one with you, I'd have a bunch of people lined up to give me shit. Wait,
am I supposed to care about that, dude? They can try to give me shit, but I will eat it like a meal eating briars, baby. It'll be fine by me. I'll just shrug at them. I mean,
I think I could achieve those things without doing an interview style. I'm doing it right now. I don't see the logic in an interview, but I do see a lot of illogic and just nonsense. It's posturing, it's ego. That the shit I'm trying to get rid of. That's what it really is, man. They want to see you.
Look at it from a different perspective. You're looking at it from an ego-based, well, I'm not trying to inflate myself. Meanwhile, you're doing all the things that people who inflate themselves do. That's one of the questions I have for you. I have some specifically YouTube questions about how certain things took place.
You could ask them outside of an interview, then I feel it's fair because I could ask you questions. The same way you examine me, I could examine you. Now it's fair ground.
Sure. I'll answer anything that comes up, and we can take it on just like that. I mean,
I was going to say, Joe Cool doesn't do what he does out of ego. Fact check. Pants on fire.
Oh wow, his pants are on fire. That's weird.
Undoubtedly, I probably did that shit 3 times a day.
Shout out to Anti-At-Jack.
Yeah, he is. He be dropping links and stuff. I think I modded historical, but he left before he found out. How about that?
Yeah, he mod all the white people, right?
So I would be for this shill thing if it were the opposite.
All white people are the ones that are willing to be on camera, and you got to sit in a dark car in the alley.
Hey man, I don't want to keep it dark in here. I don't want to draw any attention to myself.
You go.
I'm on the streets somewhere.
Midlife ain't near black enough for me.
Instead of shills, it should be grills.
I carry the rest of the load, midlife.
I gotta carry the rest of the load.
I do.
Right,
I'm
Sasquatch grills.
There you go.
My very first channel idea was to build a small barbecue in my backyard and name it Meat and Fire and just slow-mo shoot move. You know what I'm saying? A good fiery grill cooking a big joint of meat. You know.
Yeah.
You people wants to know where's the Alamosa video, Joe Cool.
I'm working on it now.
Shout out to you people, by the way. He's
I
a
just
real
got
OG.
Just got that new footage you peeped today, so I'm incorporating it into the vid. I'm working on it now.
If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't know.
Right. Sorry, I'm trying to type over here, and I wasn't born with that ability like some people.
I took typing in like 8th grade, I think.
It's the best class I ever took, man. It was so. I'm so grateful that they taught us typing, man. I mean that shit. Like,
I learned
people want to
to type.
complain about school and all the bullshit that you don't learn, but I'll tell you one thing, man. That typing was dope, man. It really taught me. And thanks to my typing teacher, bro, whatever your name was.
I did
That shit
too,
stuck.
and then I got nerve damage in my left arm, and my left hand doesn't do the keys like they're supposed to anymore. And so I've had to relearn to type one-handed, and I'm really fast at it one-handed.
I like they're gonna kill each other.
But let's see what kind of production are we gonna have tonight? It's all celebratory. Oh, it's celebratory. My bad. Hold up. Hey,
We're
Joe.
not even going to talk about the fact that he hasn't even asked to do a Sasquatch Shills Denizen all these years. We're just going to brush right over that.
Brush right over that shit. We are, because the time I asked you, do you remember what you told me?
No.
You said I'll never do it. Don't ask again. And I won't be
Damn, very precise.
Still tell me that don't sound just like you. I mean, homie didn't know me from Adam's house cat. I don't blame him a bit, but you know.
Well, that guy was a douche. Don't listen to him.
Well, you said you'd block me if I asked again, so I just kind of extirpated it from my brain. But
So I do not recall, Senator.
I don't like your psyop on me, dude. This whole gaslight bullshit. You could do better, man. Do better. What's up, Boa? Welcome in, bud.
I think this is something we should perhaps discuss in a closed session.
Sure.
I asked the chair that we discuss this in a closed session.
Absolutely. Chair passes.
All right, we're shutting down chat. We're going to go backstage and do a private closed session.
No, we're not there yet.
No,
Calm down, big
no.
You can go backstage if you want. I'm not going to stop.
Accountability for all is here.
Hey, bud.
Hello, Josh.
It's good to see you. I need chaser before I start this whole drinking process. So let's find us some really screwed up video of cops doing screwed
The
up
fucking room is packed, Joe. I ain't looked in the chat.
right? Nah, let's see. We got me and Dennison are both streaming. I got 41. He's got 8 because he's shadow banned. I'm going to force him to start a new channel that's unrelated to what he's doing.
And I'm actually going to do what Daddy says.
You normally do.
The biggest
You normally do.
3 months flat, Mr. Beast level. Welcome, Josh. I appreciate you coming through, bro. Yeah, I was looking for. Have you heard about the oxygen rocks?
Yeah.
Joe? Anything about the oxygen rocks at the bottom of the ocean?
I do believe, yes.
Okay, so I've been digging into this because this is a very interesting subject. If you understand how oxygen is released by metal, it's a catalytic reaction.
Yes.
What else is with oxygen at the bottom of the ocean?
You say what else? What oxygen? What'd you say?
What else? What other material with oxygen makes water?
Oh, with oxygen, hydrogen.
Right. So if you can make oxygen in the bottom of the ocean, you're also making hydrogen. Think about it. They're not looking for rocks that make oxygen. There's no money in that.
I must really be high. I don't understand nothing yet.
That's an energy source. And nobody said a word about that. Where's the
What?
oxygen come from? It's not just springing fully formed from these nodules for here. This isn't Athena. We're talking about a very interesting concept. If you could gather enough of these nodules under the right circumstances, if they produce oxygen and little bubbles come up, then they are creating hydrogen, hydrate. And this is essentially hydrogen that's frozen, not because it's cold, but because it's under so much pressure at the bottom of the ocean that it can't actually bubble up. Right. So
Right.
when this happens, it creates these huge shelves of frozen hydrogen. So when you try to go collect these nodules, there's a really good chance you're going to be releasing massive amounts of locked hydrogen because
They do that. No,
disturbs
they do that, right? They do that. They release. I think it's it's natural gas. I'm thinking about that.
Well,
They do the
it
same
does happen
process.
naturally. An earthquake can shuffle this stuff around and cause it to bubble up. It sank at least one ship in history that was actually noted
I
where
remember
it
that.
just disappeared, and it was like being watched. They saw some water bubble, and then the ship failed. They said it fell in a hole in the ocean, and no survivors. That thing's still at the bottom, and like. It took years for anyone to figure out what actually happened to that ship because there was nothing visual that happened to it. It just looked like it rode off the edge of the map, but it fell in a bunch of bubbles, basically.
Where were you going with that? You say they are actually is what they're after is a hydrogen, or what was your
Okay,
point?
so oxygen has a few uses, but we have a lot of different ways of acquiring oxygen. We have oxygen concentrators. We have all kinds of ways of concentrating oxygen to make it useful to us as cutting torches and breathing and all kinds of other stuff. Hydrogen is a totally different equation. In order to make hydrogen, the only reliable way to make hydrogen that has any chance of being a fuel source is through electrolysizing. And if
Release
these
the
rocks
oxygen.
do that without electricity, then you're talking about unlimited free energy to anybody who gets a hold to them and figures out why it's happening.
So plasma.
I would agree, right? For that matter, it happens with natural gases, and that's what they do. They found a way to go down there and get them. If it happens with hydrogen, it releases hydrogen. Some private corporation comes out and invents a hydrogen company, and we don't benefit from anyway.
Well, if there's enough energy in the world, if it becomes kind of like a Jack Talcott moment,
We would never know, right? There is enough energy now. I guarantee it. I can't.
Yeah.
But
you are
yeah,
correct. Nuclear could do it by itself, but we
I'm
can't do
assuming
that.
I think geothermal could do it by itself if we just figured out how.
You're
I'm
probably
assuming there are sources that they're not telling us. Hydrogen. I believe they've found ways to release that shit, and they don't want to use it. I'm sure that there are bigger energy sources that they keep for themselves because it would kill the oil company.
They
Yeah.
would completely crush economies the world over if it were to suddenly become available. But what I'm getting, a thorium, the concept of a thorium reactor, I've never seen one actually successfully perpetrated, but in theory, the math says this should be a thing. And
I'm
thorium
not
is
sure I know what it is.
sorry, what?
I'm not sure I know what that is. A thorium reactor.
Thorium's slightly less reactive than cesium. It's just another one of those numbers on the periodic table. But thorium is like 100 billion times more plentiful. It's in beach sand. It's in seawater. It's in
So they
rock.
can effectively do this now, or you're saying if they could?
I'm saying that the mathematics of a thorium reactor should work. Every
Seems
attempt
feasible.
to do it has involved liquid salt cooling of the reactor, which means extremely high temperatures, and it does kind of fall under the qualification of unobtainium, right? In that the mechanism needed to create the temperatures necessary to maintain a reaction of thorium currently is just a little bit out of reach and has been for 60 years.
Wait. You say that Well, it's got to be a lot out of reach to go with whatever the shit you said that's over there on the Avatar shit. I forgot the name of it.
Or the
Unobtainium. It has to be extremely rare. Apparently,
Well,
that shit
it's
is
just like
extremely
Stanley
rare.
Meyer's car. With enough electricity and enough power application, you can burn straight freaking water. You know, you just have to have the energy density capable of breaking the water and then burning the water.
So you're talking about thorium, right?
Well, yes, thorium is the reason you would want to figure out how to use thorium for nuclear power is because it's so much more plentiful than any other element that could be used. The problem
And safer.
It's way safer. Well, it's safer in a long-term storage situation. Like the daughter elements that are derived from a thorium reactor are not nearly as catastrophic as the daughter elements you get from a uranium reactor. So, I mean, the issue is it's safer only in the sense of after you've acquired the power. You don't have to store all of the overburden of nuclear freaking waste that's not there because it's broken down into non-nuclear daughter elements, or at least lightly isotopic daughter elements. Uranium breaks down into something like 62 different horrifically radioactive substances, where thorium breaks down into like 12 slightly radioactive substances whose half-lives are measured in like 5s and 10s of years, not thousands.
Right.
The main issue with thorium reactors that have been attempted is that the temperature involved in it requires such high temperatures, plasma level temperatures, and the only way to maintain it is by quote unquote cooling it with a very high coolant, if you get what I'm saying. So typically they use liquid salt transfer. The liquid salt transfer, when it goes wrong, is like an aluminum fire, or it's horrendously evil. It's the mouth of hell. It is the opening into the pit of Hades,
but not radioactive.
But it may level a city.
It may melt all the way to the core of the earth.
I would assume more deep below the city, it would become an explosion, because that's what you got to overcome anyway when heat touches water and inherent expulsion of gases leading to an explosion. You got to get around that
this
shit.
Is a dry cooling method. It uses liquid salt, and there's no water involved in the process.
I mean, bro, like, so what are you saying? There's some magical unobtainium that's going to power Earth, but like the man is holding it back. I mean,
yes,
like the water-powered car.
Saying that,
yes, that happened too.
That whole thing, like, yeah, there's a water-powered car. It's called a steam engine. It's been around for a long time. Actually, nuclear power plants are steam engines. I think that was lost in translation. Like the water on the water.
Really, is that how a steam engine works?
But nuclear,
but okay.
Nuclear power plants are steam engines. They are. That's fact.
They are.
Like, totally.
That's all nuclear is produce heat to turn a turbine and reduce steam. It's the same as.
Have any of you ever been to a nuclear plant?
Not inside, but I've been around it. Yeah.
I've audited a nuclear plant.
That's outside. We did a school tour when I was in high school, and we did Savannah River 2. And they took us through one side of the unit where they had shut everything down to do maintenance changes on stuff. And they marched us all through, and we got to see all the gauges. I didn't really learn nothing because it's a bunch of freaking pipes, man. Some lights and some pipes. That's all I saw. I don't know what.
There's one in Georgia?
There's 2 in Georgia at least.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know where they all are.
Savannah River 2, Savannah River 1, I think, was retired and then is in the process of being refurbished. But that's something I read years ago. It could be freaking active now for all I know.
I know there's at least one in Virginia that I know of. Of
Here's
course, Hershey, Pennsylvania is 3 Mile Island. I guess that's all I know. I'm sure there's more there, but I don't know where they are. What were you saying?
There's a reason Savannah River power plants were placed where they were, because of the nature of the stone. What's up, Rashi? Because of the nature of the rocks and sand, we actually have a higher concentration of a particular daughter element called selenium, which is produced by the type of reactors we have, but the amount of selenium in the Savannah River is so high in comparison to other rivers in the United States that they can just dump that crap into the river because it's already there. It raises it by like 0.1%. There was this, I did a big long paper on all this crap back when I was in middle school, right after we went there, because we all had to choose something nuclear based to do a paper on. And it's kind of a wild thing, but it's the reason the type of plant that we have in Georgia is there.
Yeah, I'm not. It's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Are we going to get off oil? I guess that's the question, right? Or is solar power going to be dope? Or are we going to go back to nuclear?
Nah, solar's never going to be a thing.
Never.
Solar
Why you say that, Russia?
Because okay,
It will be for me.
Because it's not because all right, we have certain patents in place right now that you can't make solar any more efficient than I believe 65
I
or
never
70%.
heard that before. Are you serious, y'all?
Yeah. I mean,
that's insane. That's not American, yo.
well, let's look at how a lot of things have been monopolized over time, sir. I mean, we're not exactly the what would you call it? The
bastion of
free market, as in what we what it once was. We're not the free market of what we once were. I mean, Sash, would you disagree? Let's look at military contracts, right? There used to be a lot, let's say like 100 different people doing defense contracts. Now it's down to, 5. Right. And it's very much a monopoly. And yeah.
There's more to it than that, though. The
it is. I'm trying
the efficiencies involved are really just the first step of its undoing. Second of all, you have to have the batteries capable of maintaining the charge, and if you get more charge than the batteries can take, that's just heat.
Oh, we're talking about solar?
Okay. Solar specifically right now. We're going to go to wind in just a second. Solar. You also have the fact that these things degrade over time at a pretty much given rate, but there's things that can alter that rate. Dust can limit your efficiency. Simply atmospheric dust or clouds, things like this. These are things you cannot really control to any manageable extent, right? And then when you talk about efficiency over 25 years, you're looking at having to replace it every 15 years in order to maintain a competitive edge of energy producing. What happens to all the old solar cells?
Yeah. Your location is very much dependent on it.
Right.
How much sunlight a year you get versus to how much battery bank that you have in reserve.
Let's take a look at North Africa, the Sahara Desert, one of the best possible places in the world. You could set up solar. Nope, wouldn't work. The temperatures involved in Africa are a bit too steep. The gradients actually interfere.
And not only that, a lot of places, the dust coverage will cover the solar panels, and you won't get the amount of output.
You would have to employ.
We had that problem in India. I don't know if I told you guys before. I started. Well, me and like 4 of the guys helped an Indian company come over to America, right? So we were the American branch of this Indian company. But in India, we had a bunch of projects over there where we had to
Sorry about that. That was my bad. I'm trying to set up a video over here. Joe, we had some of your boys down in my hometown a few days ago. Georgia Transparency audited the local Chamber of Commerce. And here's a funny thing that, it's one of those things you wouldn't know unless you lived here. Recently, we got a new clerk up there, and she's only been working there for like, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months. She's only been in the country like 5 or 6 months, something like that. right? So we're talking some chick from New Zealand who's sitting at the desk who has New Zealand laws in her head. So yeah, she flipped out a little bit. All the cops come in pretty cool though.
Wow, pretty good.
Go ahead, Rashu. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I was just saying that we had to just over engineer those projects out in those areas because we would have to expect, 10%, 20, 30% loss
from the dust.
Yeah.
Right. So
And you can clean them. They have mechanisms that you can clean them, but I'm just saying.
Do a mechanism that cleans it. It's not flawless. You have to have people hired to go out and clean them individually. Then you've got the amazing ability of that sand in Africa to get absolutely everywhere. So you're going to end up with some damage taking place due to that. There are mice, there are animals there, even though it appears to be a desolate wasteland. It is a very difficult place for humans to build and maintain things. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about wind. Wind is the answer, right? We've got vast segments of windy corridors all over America. Shouldn't be a problem. Well, they're killing birds, but beyond that, when you're dealing with wind, you generally get wind power at points in times when you have a drop in demand. And this is because wind comes with storms. Storms knocks out power supply, and the stations that are actually responsible for making the power have to draw down on their power generation in order to not overtax the houses that are still on the grid. Okay. If we could simply capture the power that in some battery type form, preferably some form of solid state non-degradable battery, that would do an awful lot towards energy independence all over the world. But take wind power.
Well, if I remember correctly, I think in Australia, or maybe it might be Switzerland or something like that. I think it might be Switzerland. They have this mock-up house where they have this technology of, I think it's a sodium battery.
Yeah, salt batteries.
Where it's kind of like self-sustaining.
The only issue with salt batteries, though, have you looked into them very much?
Yes and no. I'm very, I'm into the batteries, but
well, they're not very effective is the thing. That's why we don't really use them. The only reason you would consider utilizing a salt battery is if you needed a massive immediate drawdown of power. If you needed something to take on juice really quick, you can do that with a salt battery, but it has to be truly ginormous. The fact that it's truly ginormous.
Yeah, and this was a huge battery. Yeah.
It has to be huge. And the power density is not very high at all. But we have a lot.
But you don't need it for that situation.
Right. So when it comes to wind, you get wind power at points in time when you don't necessarily need the power. You know what I mean? So when you add that into the loss of efficiency from the various generators that have been used in turbines over time, which we are talking a longer time than solar. So you're supposedly talking 30 years on a wind turbine. That hasn't been the actual physical reality. The reality has been most wind turbines that go into service are taken out of service sometime in the next 15 years on average. Now, there are some out there that have been running
the grade and all these other things.
Right. Whether it's, strain, stress, the inappropriate
bearings and the
bearings, types of maintenance involved in using wind power is extremely expensive because they're not in places where people live. You have to send a specialist out. He has to climb a half mile up, and then he has to does whatever maintenance is necessary, and then climb down, and you have to pay him for that time and all of that effort.
Well,
can I tell a funny story real quick before I get the hell up out of here? Because
better be funny though. Go ahead.
He said Costa Rica. Funny,
I'm in Costa Rica, and me, you know, I'm with a couple. Me and my girlfriend, me and a friend and his wife, and we're trying to go to this park that's like on a volcano, and you know, there's limited service out here, right? So we get we get a GPS location, we start heading there, we start going there, and we're just driving up a mountain. We start going into the clouds. We started seeing windmills and everything like that. You know what I mean? And it started getting way more and more rural and rural. And it got to the point where the road was ending, and there were some guys like up at the end of the road, and they were looking at us like we were crazy. We're looking at them like, you know, why is the road ending? There's supposed to be a park up here somewhere. And come to find out, we were on the path to the active volcano, like dead center. Like we had rode over like a acid, uh, what do you call it? Waterway or something like that. Like you smelled the sulfur. Like it was crazy. So the guy had to call like a translator on his walkie-talkie, and he was like talking to us like, yeah, we're like 15 miles outside of the park. Like I need to go way back down the mountain, and like it was crazy. But we were up in the clouds, like damn near at the top of this volcano, and these guys were looking at us like, you guys are crazy as hell. But yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so, guys, I need to get the hell up out of here. You guys have a great night.
See you, Rusher.
Don't let the man get you down.
One more Sasquatch. I hope you know enough about this when you're talking about the other ones. Apparently, there's a fucking sheriff right around behind me and back in the way. Oh no, it ain't. It's just security. All right. Turbines underwater. Apparently, not just like in dams. Apparently, they got them now. You just throw them in a creek somewhere, and they generate electricity. Guru was telling me about that shit. I was like, you know, apparently
try that again. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can everyone else hear him?
No,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's talking about water turbines.
Yeah, water turbines.
Which I would say are our best source next to geothermal.
Yeah, no. You're right, but there are some critical issues with manipulating water in the continental U.S. You built the days of building power dams are over.
I'm not talking about dams.
You're talking about the tidal turbines, right?
Those, and apparently they have the hand versions small enough you can buy them at some store and throw them in your creek in the backyard if it moves fast enough.
Okay,
I didn't know that existed.
Micro hydro, right?
Micro
hydro.
Micro hydro. I've never heard it called that, but sure, it fits.
Okay, so all right, let's start with the basic micro hydro system. The way this works is you have this guy in Tennessee, West Virginia, or somewhere where there's a mountain. This is not done in a lazy Georgia on the Piedmont down here.
I'm told it's done on the lazy Georgia shit now by a motherfucker in Canada who actually uses these devices.
Guru, right? I know familiar with Nude Guru, and
like no fucking way, bro. They got that shit, and it's efficient. And he knows exactly what you can power off of it.
Yes, but these people have been working with a specific system for years to perfect it in that specific area. And if you take that system to a new area, you will have to solve all the new problems that the new area presents.
That's nonsense.
Okay, so yes, that is a very viable system for individual homes, homesteads, farms, things like this, right? It is not a viable system for a town, a city, a village, or anything larger than 200 people, maybe.
Yes, then you're going to dams and I heard that even the tidal fucking generators are fucking efficient now. Well, I looked
Yeah.
into them and they would break down so fast. I didn't look into them for another 15 years or something. Now I hear they last long and they're efficient.
Yeah. And this is where we need to be putting our money.
That
And I think when we say solar is not viable, what people should be saying is solar cells are not viable. We like there's other ways to collect solar energy, and incorporating water into it, I think probably.
Yes, there is. And if you think about it, you could make the laser beam that the guy uses to crush the rocks. That shit's free. It's just a glass off an old TV. And I bet you can get it hot enough on some fucking water to release some gases and do something brilliant.
Are you talking about
like? Can't we just make a big magnifying glass and point it at a pot of water that boils it, and then you have another steam turbine? On that note, I gotta go though. Peace out. I gotta get a snack.
Coming by. Much love.
Congrats on 5K. Stay safe, Joe. Dennis, and always peace.
I don't know if that's feasible, but the idea certainly is worthy. The problem
could use the whole cycle. Sorry.
No. The problem now is that you have the beam has to be so fine it couldn't boil a pot of water. However, it's probably a way to make adjustments.
There is a place in, I think it's in Utah or Arizona, that utilizes a collection of mirrors to heat the top of a tower. In the top of this tower, yet again, and I've said this before, it's a very dangerous method, but it's very useful in the right places, is a salt compound that is superheated by the sun. And two things have become apparent about this method of generating electricity. One, it is absurdly efficient. Two, it is absolutely deadly. Every bird, every lizard, everything that goes inside the range of those mirrors gets cooked. Right? So the EPA will never let that fly. Not on an actual operational basis. The one we have has been shut down due to environmental issues. The one in North Africa, it's in Gambia, maybe? I'm not sure. I can't remember where it's at, but it's in Africa. The one they built over there actually burned a hole through one of the containment vessels and spilled out onto the desert. And they haven't decided exactly how they're going to go about dealing with that. But they've had to completely decommission it until they can figure out how to stop that from happening. And here's the issue when dealing with that level of temperature, we don't have a whole lot to put in there that would be capable of dealing with the pressures of pumping liquid salt, an extremely dense and heavy liquid, up 300 foot to get into the central beam. And you can't shed enough heat. You can't shed too much heat, because if you do, the salt solidifies and you can't pump it. You see the problem?
No.
Okay, if you stop pumping the salt long enough for it to get hot enough, it blows a hole through the side of the containment vessel. But if you let the salt bleed off enough heat in the water to generate electricity, the salt solidifies.
You end up with a salt clot.
And you can no longer, you just end up with a chunk of salt instead of liquid. And you have to manually cool that section in order to reliquefy it. Hell, since we're off in this topic now, we might as well discuss the concept of vacuum energy while we're at it, which is a virtually non-existent measurement. It's a non-zero representation of a natural force of some kind. We don't know what it is. We don't know where it comes from, and we don't know how to utilize it. But it is, as I said, a non-zero source of energy. Is that useful? I mean, maybe in the depths of space between stars, but not so much on Earth, where we utilize more energy than that, just sweating, just with the muscular contractions to push moisture out of our skin. So,
I think we could utilize the entire water cycle to our advantage, like the geothermal. Earth kind of has like a heartbeat, like a respiratory system, a circulatory system,
Yeah.
And once we become like a type 1 civilization, we'll be able to just live off of that, you know? Especially if these climate change alarmists are correct. If they're correct, then that tells me that we should be able to manipulate our weather and benefit from the the excess energy, you know?
Accurate. I mean, yeah, sure. To an extent. The problem with that concept is you're literally speaking of geoengineering. You're talking
Yes.
about terraforming our own planet.
Yes. With the goal in mind of keeping it exactly how it is right now.
I'm gonna have to chew on that one for a minute. We'll get back to it. Because
Yeah.
I feel like there's an energy deficit in that equation somewhere that would result in either a cooling or a heating somewhere.
That would be to our advantage. That's my point. Right? So you got to imagine we're not these monkeys we are now. Right? We've actually learned how the environment works. Imagine a world where Congress doesn't make decisions about science too, right? Like I'm talking about this is way outside this box, right?
Right. Yeah, no, you're talking 100 years from now, maybe 50,
right?
You know, or yesterday if we let get a hold to the actual archives. Do I need to put on my tinfoil hat for this? Because I can do that.
Man, I think we just put on our science caps and our thinking caps, and I think the mid brains, most which I am one of, I include myself in that. A lot of them will get kind of upset about it, but whatever. I'm used to that.
Okay.
I'd love for someone who actually is has some professional experience in this area. Would be great to.
That's what he
say.
does
Say what?
Professionally. Rashu was a renewable energy consultant type.
Yeah.
Went in to like make sure that the batteries were the right type to work with that type of power generation and yada yada yada, that kind of stuff. That's why I was letting him have his say, because that's what we were talking about, right?
Somewhere, even this United States government, criticize it how you want to. It probably deserves it. There's a team of nerds who, whether or not they're actually being funded by the military and secretly controlled by the military, and if they learn anything, the military will take it over. I'm not making any claims, not going to try to have that conversation. I'm used to that conversation. Right now, they're just nerding. All they're doing is trying to figure out ways to, keep the species going for the next 1,000 years.
Next 1,000? I don't necessarily think that's their goal. But okay, let's take that as a given. 1,000 years. We're doing 1,000-year plan. Somebody
100?
out on the NWO has decided that 1,000-year plan is needed. They have planned it and they are in the process of executing. Okay, let's assume that's the case for the moment. What part of that 1,000-year plan involves the depopulation of cities?
I mean, depending on your school of thought, I would think that'd probably be a really big part of it, And I would, that is a binary question ultimately. So I would,
Yes.
Humans can just what they love to do, they can be completely 50-50 on it. Just like everything else that's a binary choice.
That's pretty cool. I got 20 people in here and 20 likes. I feel like I missed a few on the way through, but we're doing good. Okay. 1,000-year plan. What would something like that look like? And would it be derived directly from human organic thought or utilizing AI in its planning portions?
I would still like to know what you didn't like about the 1,000 number.
We have the only institution that has stood unbroken for 1,000 years that we have. It's like certain religions, and unbroken is a questionable point on that, right?
Yeah. Just talking about very futuristic thinking, like think tank.
Sorry, one moment. I don't know what this is. EAE. I achieved 5,000. We're going to work on this next.
Yeah.
Yeah, the church. The church would be about the only organization, and you could pick your religion across several continents as to which one you want to point out and say that lasts 1,000 years. But did it really? Was it unchanged? Was there not a Calvinist schism?
Was it not a what?
Something like a Calvinist a catechism. You know what I'm saying? A breaking of churchly ways, like the kind you get between Protestants and Baptists, right?
Dumb it down for me. How is it like that?
Well, no, I'm saying virtually every religion eventually goes through some form of catechism where the people who are worshiping today do not adhere to the agreements, to the beliefs of the people that were worshiping 2 generations.
Like a reformation.
Of sorts. And most religions have something like this that takes place. And some of them, like some of the Indian religions, actually have that concept built into their religion so that even if it changes some, it doesn't change out of recognition.
Are you just saying you would want to plan for dramatic changes?
I'm saying that when you point at a human institution that have stood for 1,000 years, you're going to end up pointing at some religious something, right?
Okay.
That religious thing you can say stood for 1,000 years, but if you look at the internal workings of the mechanism of the organization itself, most of them really haven't. They've been cooed on interior. There's been popes that were deposed. There were popes that were replaced. There were popes that bought their way in, and none of that applies. None of that is.
Dude, I still think we're suffering from the Roman Catholic Church's empire, like
suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not adverse to the concept. I just love the way you
But I wasn't thinking the institution itself, the think tank, would have to last 1,000 years, merely that it would be contemplating 1,000 years in the future. And I asked the question because whatever you're more comfortable with, that's what I'd like to narrow the conversation down to, because that would make it even more interesting and important, in my opinion. So you're thinking, what, 100 years or only 10 years? Like, what time scale would make more sense for the thought experiment?
Right. I would buy 100 years for a thought experiment because that can be largely accomplished inside of 2 generations. That allows for a person to develop the concept, plan the concept, implement the concept, and have a direct heir, whether it's, a philosophical heir or an actual physical heir, take over from there. Right.
I think we could do it in 40. So I'll take your 100 as generous. Right. So we figure out exactly what temperatures, elements, forces are behind the geocycle, which we're learning is, and I mean the body of knowledge has increased
Right.
in just our generation alone, right? It started off in a place where we didn't quite understand the relationships between a butterfly in Mexico and a wind blast of hot air in Africa, right?
Right. Which I'm going to stand by the idea that we don't understand that now.
For sure.
For
sure. And we're barely aware. We're like uncovering this in dirt right now, right? It's first becoming aware to us things we don't understand.
Oh, yeah. Okay. My bad. For a second there, I was going, who the fuck is the hunter? What's up, Sam? Speak.
Hey,
yo, what up?
What's up?
All right, babe.
So, I don't have a lot of time tonight, but congratulations on 5,000, buddy.
Right? Thank you, sir. Couldn't have done it
without
awesome.
you. That is pretty awesome. Yeah. This vertical shit's kind of freaking me out, though.
I know, and nobody likes it, but the fact is that if I'm not doing a legitimate, straight up created show with customized everything in it, this is the most efficient way to do it, in that it gets more views, more traction, more interaction, more engagement, more of everything. And as much as I hate it, it's effective.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. No, very cool though. 5,000 subs. It's
I appreciate it, brother. I do. I'm utterly astounded. When I told my first joke on YouTube, it never crossed my mind I'd reach this far.
yeah. I bet not.
It was literally a knock joke. What's up, Steve? Aloha, bud. Yeah, no, it's literally a knock joke, basically. And then I had the idea of I wanted to do Zeus looking down from Olympus and viewing humans through TikToks and shorts, right? That was the concept. After filming a few versions of that, it was trash. It was utter trash. Now I know why it was trash, right? And I could probably go back and pull it off better now. But I said, screw that. And I went with the Odin concept instead, because I had my third subscriber tell me that I look more like Odin than Zeus and I should stop screwing around.
Yeah.
And I went, she's right. And so I did.
I mean, it's true. Plus, let's be honest. Captain Murder Happy's always a bit more of a crowd pleaser than Grapey McSmites a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not wrong. For those of you who know, Captain Murder Happy is more of an Odin type thing, but yeah, that he kills people that offend him. Which is a very nice thing to do when you give what gods do their birth. You know what I mean? Like, because
Right.
other gods will make you screw a bull and have a kid with a bull head
that eats people.
It eats people.
Yeah, a lot of people forget about that, but the Minotaur is. I don't want to go full on like cannibal with this, but he's half human. Just saying, and he eats people.
And he eats people. Denizen, have you met Samuel?
I don't think so.
Oh wow!
Please meet you, sir.
Samuel, if you
Likewise,
out of the people you found associated with me, I have maybe 4 suggestions for you to be involved with. You've showed up in most of their chats at some point in time or another, but Denizen is the one I haven't mentioned, and it's because he once told me, and I quote. I'm not gonna
I don't remember any of this, by the way.
No, this was like back when I first started my channel. See, I followed you before I started my channel under different profiles because I had planned on coming in and trying to kill your channel, but you didn't really have a channel. And so what's the point? Hey, Michelle, welcome in. Appreciate you coming through. Right. I mean, you're pretty much troll proof, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I encountered.
If there's such a thing, it's me. Yeah.
If such a thing exists, I encountered a person that what little bit of effort I put into affecting your channel, what tiny amount of effort I put into affecting your channel had like the opposite freaking effect. It was a backlash type thing. And I was very curious about that. And I quit YouTube for a couple of months and in the process killed all of my old counts so that it would look like an organic, shutdown. Hey, I appreciate that, Michelle. That's sexy. You know how sexy that is. I'll just sit and talk to you, baby. It'll just be me and you. Good girl. Anyway, so when I started my channel, I made a vow to myself that I would not go hunting these people that I had previously encountered. I didn't, but through the fact that YouTube is not nearly as big and diverse as people like to pretend, you and I ended up in the same places a few times, and I just let it organically take place. Like, we're not that different when it comes down to it. You're slightly right of Attila the Hun, and I'm slightly right of Genghis Khan. So it kind of works. You like that, didn't you? And Sam is slightly right of Cthulhu himself. So
I mean, politics are really a human thing. So
yeah, that is a mortal convention.
I say as I run a channel that's mostly politics.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Man, they buzzed his ear with a bullet, dog.
You know what I
good.
swear to God, the next time I uncovered that ear, it would have a 5.56 stuck in the hole. And if I didn't have a hole,
yeah,
a hole.
You have like a 5.56 earring, or
Yes,
or a
like
tattoo of a 5.56 going inside the ear, but it's 3D, so it looks like it's.
Yeah, good luck. I'm just talking. You could literally make a golden bullet and stick it in that man's ear, and he, friends, Americans, countrymen, lend me your ear because that fucker shot mine off.
Well, I mean, I can say he's had his ear pierced, right? At least it was on the right side.
Remember when they called him Teflon Don?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I'm calling him Donald the Bullet Dodger Trump.
Oh, Lily wants to know why you wanted to kill my channel.
No, it wasn't that I wanted to. It was that I found him. I thought he was full of shit, and I am
full of shit. So.
I started moving in different profiles to kind of do this, but damn it, he was just so engaging. I would forget to swap profiles and argue with myself and create the strife that eventually results in me getting a moderator status and destroying the channel from inside. I didn't do none of that. In fact, that was right. I found him right at the end of my trolling. And so
I'd never be worth the amount of effort it would take for you to get to that level, you know?
I never got a chance to make that decision, but that is the decision I decided that I might have made later after having actually been on panel and talked to you and been backstage with you a few times. There's no point in me coming after you. You're not doing anything that was, but I was on a lot of drugs and I didn't like myself. And it was more of a self-hate thing than it was a hating other people thing.
So what are some of these names that you came into my chat under?
Fuck.
The answer is I'm full of shit, by the way, Lily. If you didn't catch that, that's the correct answer to the question. And he's not wrong, but go on.
Well, no, it wasn't that you're full of shit. It's just.
Are you Dick Insider?
No, that wasn't me, but he's funnier than fuck.
I'm trying to just think of some of the names over the years.
Let's see. I can't remember what I used specifically on your channel. The one that I used, like, as my "Hi, I'm here and I'm me" type thing was called Great Sky Troll Anti-Drama. That was the primary, mostly banned account that I was utilizing, and it still exists to an extent out there that, and like on PlayStation and Xbox and stuff, because I'm just not going to get rid of all the achievements I've done. Fuck them.
No, it doesn't ring any bells.
It would be like this. It would be something along the lines of like Counter Smoker or Top Melange. and they would all be spelled like this. It would be done.
Although you did say on Flows the other day that I used to have another channel. You called me out on it. So it occurs to me now.
What I said was I am almost certain he had another channel because I recognize so many aspects of things that you've done, right? That you've said, that the you-ness of it. If it wasn't you, I'm sorry, but
I must not be that original.
No, it's just that you are that original on that point, because otherwise I wouldn't have recognized the flavor.
No other channels though.
You've never had any other channel?
No. Wow. Just and like I keep adding more and more channels now, and I have like 3 now technically, but they all say Denizen X something.
Okay.
They have the same avatars, and
clearly wasn't you, so
they're all posted in my Discord.
Your channel, like I was can't remember. I have to go
real quick though. Let me say Lily wishes you a happy 5,000 day, by the way.
Thank you.
And welcome Mama Suli into the chat.
Mama Suli. Like that, I do. Now, cheers to each and every one of you.
I got
So-
lucky. I met
This is
the
a video
Sasquatch
here.
after his troll days, so
I thought I was pretty much under the impression I wasn't important enough to have trolls, and I'm finding out that Sasquatch was actually my maybe first, perhaps only troll.
he was probably like 5 of them.
It's likely because at one point I used a pen and paper spreadsheet to keep track of the names and what those names. Usually, my names would
Remind you? Yeah,
they-
the name itself reminds you.
like angry bartender, right? One of my favorites.
Oh,
And-
and I remember Angry Bartender.
I've never used this one as an actual troll account. This was just like a burner. One of my favorites was Intrusive Thoughts.
Intrusive Thoughts, I remember too.
But they never said anything negative, did they? They were always supportive. They're basically.
I believe so, yeah.
I was like, "You're doing great. You're the greatest ever." Because what kind of intrusive thought shows up and tells you good things? How ironic.
So the Intrusive Thoughts account is a cheerleader account.
Yeah, essentially. You're not wrong. It wasn't a troll account. It was just somewhere, one that I had like, it was a burner sock account that I would use. And there may be other intrusive thoughts out there. So like, don't go jumping on anybody thinking it's me. Oh, my bad. I didn't hear the bonk. What's up, Asvaroon? Welcome to the show.
Yo.
Yeah. Hello. How are all of you doing? Fine.
Excellent, man.
Oh, well, how are
I'm
you?
really high though, and Sasquatch here is screwing with my brain at the same time. So I'm like, I'm that meme where the dude's head is like, yeah, that guy. Yeah.
All right, Asvaroon. I invited you over specifically so that we could have a conversation, just you and me at some point.
Yeah.
I want to discuss the interaction between, or rather, the changes that have taken place in Indian, not only culture, but also the religious aspects of that culture, North and South, from the British Empire's influence. So the discussion of pre-British versus post-British, very similar to the concept of pre-Columbian, post-Columbian in America. But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would probably call it colonialism.
Yeah.
But pre-colonialism, post-colonialism, and the difference that took places, because I'm not extremely educated in Indian history, but I did take a huge love of the Vedic text, the Mahabharata, what's the Veda, the other one?
Ramayana.
Yes. I also really, really, really love the entire Krishna saga, that whole thing. I can't even quantify it because it's very dynamic. Just the concept of Krishna and an individual with the universe inside him that is an individual in the universe that is inside him tells you the type of brain exercises you have to do to deal with Indian mythology and legends,
Yeah.
religion.
Sounds
and
like
history.
Yog-Sothoth.
It's amazing. Oh, and Sam's not exactly a slouch when it comes to this particular topic either. He does lots of like old school pagan stuff that I can't even get into.
No, I feel when it comes to the Mahabharata, Ramayana, and many other ancient pagan cultures, they were very observant as far as nature was concerned. Then, with their meditative insights, they discovered certain truths hidden in nature, and they would quantify these truths in the form of stories. And even knowledge was also quantified in the form of stories. So we have to ask those people what exactly it is that they discovered, because you look at the Bible or even the Quran or even the Mahabharata or any text for matter, they always talk about mystical creatures, but historically there are no dinosaurs in any of the ancient texts. Like I've done a lot. I've done research on this. Whichever texts I've seen, they've not shown any dinosaurs at all. So to say that it's historical is little difficult. It's somewhat between fact and fiction. I know Krishna existed, Jesus Christ also existed. They have done some occult practices and attained powers through realization. But
how open are you? Oh, sorry.
Let me try this. What I'm looking, well, that's not right. What I'm hoping to have with you, and I don't want to try to do it tonight because I'm already drinking. And it would be unfair to you.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to really get the conversation forward. But just to consider this for the when we get together in the future to have this conversation. Specifically, the changes that took place between pre-colonial Indian, the entire freaking Veda, all of the religions, how some things were removed, some things were not only left in, but kind of increased, like the concept of altruism in early India. Altruism was something that you did because the gods, much like Norse mythology, the gods kind of insisted that you treat guests a certain way. But then post-colonial, that kind of concept kind of went the way of the dinosaur, and it's still there, but it's not like as high a function of the culture, if you get what I'm saying. I might not have said that well.
But when we talk about these gods, I feel that they're abstract platonic concepts. You have to go to one channel called Imaginary Access. In Imaginary Access, this person called Tyler, he talks about he talks about the new gods and the old gods, and how the new gods like Dark Side, High Father, they're all platonic living concepts that have taken on a form. So when you see that video, you'll get a proper picture of what the Vedas are trying to describe over here. You have to see it. Dark Side Part 1, Dark Side Part 2. He's done an excellent job on deciphering this. So looking at that, we can actually come back to reality. And these people understood that these are just forces of nature that we have to quantify and give a form to. That is what they've done. And then using their subtle perception, they were able to understand how these forces, forces of nature interact with each other. And they wrote it down in the form of a story. Like that Adam and Eve story in the Bible, that's metaphorical. People literally believe it to be true. Literally it can't be true, because if Adam and Eve were the forebearers of the human race, then we would be committing incest, because we being the children of Adam.
Brother, listen.
I would point out here that there isn't a single creation myth that doesn't involve incest, not one.
Hold on, Sam. Before you trigger him and get him started, listen. This is not the conversation I want to have tonight. We're going to move on to a different subject. Feel free to get involved as you will. I want to get with you specifically about this topic so that me and you can actually hash this out, because I'm unbelievably interested. Things like never mind. I don't want to digress into it. Isaac, welcome in.
Cheers.
I'm not telling you to leave, Asvarun. I'm simply saying that this is a celebratory thing for 5K. I don't want to get sucked into a really dense proto-religious conversation that would be difficult to try to extricate us.
I mean, we do. We just don't want to tonight. Right now.
Just not right now.
And congratulations on 5K subscribers.
Thanks, sir. Much appreciated. Isaac, I understand you had a religious experience earlier.
Are you referring to the joke?
I don't know if it's a joke or not. I watched a bit of it. I asked a question several times, right?
Yeah.
I kept asking, wait, are you telling me that you had a religious experience while talking to Jack Talcott?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't say I had a religious experience. I don't know. I might have said something. I might have resonated with something he said. Is that what it was?
You said that there's something along the lines of you felt something that moved within you while you were praying with someone on a stream earlier. And
no, it wasn't him.
It wasn't Jack Talcott.
No,
okay,
no.
all right. That makes so much more sense to me.
Yeah, I just met the guy today. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, Denizen, he just met Jack Talcott today.
Nice.
Yeah, speaking of happy 5,000, I do got to bounce. I did only have a limited amount of time tonight, man. But I will. I'll talk to you soon. The rest of y'all, good to meet you.
Peace.
You got me, baby.
All right.
How do y'all?
And again, congrats on the 5K. That's fucking amazing, man. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Good night. How do y'all feel about the conversation I was attempting to have earlier about Type 1 civilization in 100 years?
That was an excellent conversation. That actually, I wanted to get to that. I have a book. It debunks the theory of evolution, and it says that mankind has been created and destroyed 81 times at least. And we've always reached a type 1 type of civilization, and it's been destroyed. And we again have to start from primitive times. So they found a nuclear reactor somewhere in Gabon, in the African country of Gabon. When they did carbon dating, it was 2 billion years old. So we've always reached.
Damn.
Give me 1 second to work with this. Let me go over for our English speaking subscribers out here who might not know about this particular deposit. In the Gabon in Africa, there is a uranium deposit that from like, what is it? Not sonar. It's the ground penetrating radar. When they look at the shape of it, its composition and its makeup, it looks like somebody tried to build a rudimentary nuclear reactor and it melted in. So there's like no structure to it whatsoever, but the bare minimum of necessary pre-critical matter is available and is being functioned upon. And the only reason it's not currently creating a slag valley in the middle of the Gabon currently is because the groundwater is high enough to stop it. And that's it. It creates a minor hot spring location over there, and people bathe in the waters, even though like the radon count on it's a little high. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I had this book. It has the articles that shows that we've always reached a type 1 type of civilization and we've been destroyed. And after being destroyed, we again started from primitive times. It debunks evolution really well. They even found pictures of people wearing suits in Africa, and when they did carbon dating, it was something like 300,000 or 400,000 years old. Right. So the thing is that
define a suit.
Suit is like what we wear, right? A coat, a pant, a shirt, tie.
So you're talking like a 3-piece suit, as if
something like that.
Before wandered into like prehistoric Africa and took a photograph.
Yeah. Something. No. They found it in a cave, a painting. So like that information is pretty like what do you say that, and there's a lot of other things that he's discussed in the article that shows that mankind is has been here for a very, very long time and debunks evolution. If only I had had that book, I could have read it. Actually, it's just 2-3 pages, but it brilliantly elaborates why evolution is a fabricated concept as well.
Okay, evolution as all right. If you look at evolution from a time scale perspective, our time scales seem to be a little bit off. If you look at evolution from a geologic perspective, our spatial reasoning seems to be a bit off. There's a few interesting conundrums in the natural kingdom that make evolution be a very difficult concept to actually peg down as like natural law. Like natural laws can't be broken. And yet there are cave crickets all over the world. All of these cave crickets seem to share some amount of DNA, and it's not because they were sourced from the same population of DNA, supposedly. What the evolutionists will tell you is that these different groups of crickets all over the world went into caves and then co-evolved into the same structures, same creatures, to such an extent that when you run a DNA analysis on the crickets, they seem to have derived from the same stock. But that's not what science claims. The reality of the situation is we almost have an evidence for hollow earth in cave crickets and certain newts, axolotls and stuff. Some of those have like there's a few in like North America, a couple in South America, a couple of caves, specific locations, and in China that seem at least apparently seems to share genetic information from one another long ago. So like they're different, they're genetically distinct, but at the same time, they seem to be derived from a similar stock. And that shouldn't be a thing if evolution is factual, unless there is much more open area inside the earth that we are unaware of, and that there is an actual evolutionary process taking place there that is not reflected on the surface. Something like hydrothermal vents or along those lines, kind of.
If you don't mind, I have a book actually, which it's just 2-3 pages. Can I bring it and read it? It's about why evolution isn't. Is it
Tonight.
okay?
We
Not
can cover
tonight?
anything you want to cover when me and you get together and discuss this whole concept.
Okay.
You can read, we can quote, whatever.
Okay, but not today.
Okay. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just saying,
No, it's okay. It's
why
okay.
is this not working right? There it is. Bam.
Okay.
All right, listen, Greg Toller, I don't do hard R's. It's not me. It's YouTube. If you start dropping stuff like that, YouTube's going to take an issue. I cannot control that. It's just like earlier when I was streaming midlife stream. Andy, he would actually love this. Andy Pickles chats were coming through on my chat, but were not coming through on the live stream on the shorts feed. And he had some really interesting things to say. Does anybody have a particular topic you'd like to? Actually, I have a button I want to push because I think she's funny and it humors me to no end. Where's she at? I need Anna. Where's Anna when you need her?
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay.
You gotta love Anna. All right. Isaac, topic.
Vibrational frequency resonance in the brain.
You wouldn't want to go deep on one freaking shot, would you? Actually, this works out. All right. You're mainly talking about the pineal structure and its response to resonance, right?
And its connection to synchronicity.
Synchronicity is a secondary concept. You have to. I'm not saying it's unrelated. I'm saying that in order to quantify your resonance, you have to find a certain structure capable of measuring it. The pineal gland does have the ability to, it appears to have the ability to operate at different levels at different times, and yet physically doesn't seem to do anything that we can find medically. So what purpose would a pineal gland have to resonate inside our skulls with no apparent outside influence that can be measured in a typical laboratory environment? And yet we know that these vibrations, this effect changes, and not only changes, but changes the way the pineal gland functions.
Yeah.
Whether it's absorbing or it's releasing hormonal changes.
Yeah.
It's a crapshoot when you look at it at any given moment. But if you were to observe it over a period of time, the theory goes, because I don't know anyone who's actually accomplished this, but the theory goes that if you could observe the hormonal effects of the pineal gland over time, you could feasibly derive the resonant pathways that are creating these effects.
And I believe that the resonance even creates what kind of chemical your brain makes. Like what kind of frequency you're on. Like if you're on a stress frequency, you're creating stress hormone. If you're on a heightened frequency, you're creating heightened awareness. Go. Audio testing.
Yeah, my audio crashed just then. So I should be good for another 4 hours.
Oh, sweet.
All right, try that again. I'm sorry. I missed part of it.
Where were we?
Resonant frequency affecting the pineal gland through.
Yeah, so for example, like tonight I took melatonin and I just got wired. Like I'm wide awake. Kind of weird.
Oh, cool.
Like usually, like 'cause I don't think my brain makes a lot of chemicals. I had brain damage, and like so I think my brain's like feeding off it, like hella happy.
As long as you're happy, I'm happy for you.
It's just
if
a weird.
You wish to Airstream, you can. I'll go for about another hour and 20 minutes or so. If interested, that's up to you. Couples Light, welcome to the chat, bud. 5,000 freaking subscribers. How did that happen? How? I haven't even monetized. I'm nobody. I'm some fuzzy asshole in Georgia. That's it. I do got to admit, though, this did give me the ability to do one thing, and I never understood why people hated me the way they did. My family is a very stoic family. My father is probably, I always used to say my father is the Rock of Gibraltar. He is hard as the Rock of Gibraltar and just as unmoving. Stoic doesn't begin to show how he reacts. I have seen him laugh 4 times in my life, and I caused one of them, and I wasn't happy about it. That's it. That's all you ever get out of that man. So when I realized when I hit 2,000 subscribers, my father had a like a 65th birthday party, I think. And and everybody was invited. I had close to 4,000 people at this place. And I was like, shh, hey, everybody, come over here. Come over here. I need to tell you something. Come on, you. I need you specifically over here. Pops, I want you to hear me. Listen. All of my life, I have lived my life. And all of you have told me that I am not funny. And you lied to me. You just didn't like that joke. And everybody sat there, and half the people looked down at their feet, and the other half of the people looked around like they didn't know what I was talking about, because half the people had never told me that. But the ones that had all immediately went, yeah, we know. Beautiful moment. Wish I'd filmed it. What was most beautiful to me, though, was my aunt, who had a shit-eating grin on her face the whole time and said, we know, we tried to socialize you and it just didn't take. Are you familiar with the radio frequency experiments that went down back in the 20s and 30s?
No.
Denizen, how about you?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, all right. I don't know much. I just know that it happened. I read a few papers and stuff, so like nothing solid. I'm willing.
Is that a pun?
Maybe I might have read some Pierce Anthony. What are you saying?
Nothing solid. So
these experiments basically occurred utilizing various radio projection frequencies. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Radio projection machines that would basically focus radio waves into various parts of the human body in an attempt to alter their functioning. One of the experiments, hello, Mr. Anderson. One of those, the effects that did take place that was to some extent documented, because the thing is, the people that were doing this weren't very trustworthy. A lot of them were snake oil salesmen and stuff, and they were just like throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what stuck. But that's science. That's science. I hate to admit it, but that's science. Some of the effects these people achieved are very reminiscent of the modern experiments of electromagnetism on the human brain. When they bombard high levels of magnetism into certain parts of the brain, you can literally mimic psychopathy, sociopathy. You can create the circumstance that causes a brain to, well, okay, 520 hertz is one of them. Yes. That creates a certain religious sensation or the idea of a emotional breakthrough. The same effects can be achieved chemically, but the idea that an electromagnet can create this effect in the human brain is interesting, if nothing else.
It's all frequency, kind of, right? It's like each chemical is like a computer chip that tells how the energy how to go through.
Yeah, you're I cannot say you're wrong because I do not know. We are speaking on very elective concepts here. So the same effects from the electromagnetic experimentation were found to be true in the radiographic experimentation. These people were capable of causing a perfectly, or yeah, chemically as well, couples light. That's true. You can reproduce these effects chemically too if you take the time to do it with an individual. But the radiographic experimentations were very interesting. Their results were strange. Some people who were previous to the experimentation perfectly normal went on to have very quote unquote enlightened experiences in their life later. Whereas other people who were bona fide, like at least schizophrenic, if not full on psychopathic, some of these people went on to be completely normal individuals that if you look at their life, you wouldn't think anything strange about them, but they used to like hang rabbits and stuff when they were kids. It was really weird. It's not so much the results of the experiment as the effects that the experiment seemed to have on these people's lives later. Like the person that was running the experiment was a quack. But the effects seem to be long lasting, much like ayahuasca testing, but not like the electromagnetic testing. That is a very temporal, very short lived effect. You know, as far as
has anyone here on the panel known someone who got permafried?
Me. I went to a magnetic
chemically,
doctor.
Though.
Oh no. I went to the magnet doctor.
What kind of magnet did they use on you?
Dude, they were high-powered electromagnetics blasting like alpha and delta waves and stuff into my brain, and like I had 10 years of research on consciousness and my vibration I've put into, and it went away in one day. I swear on my life.
Is it like a tube or
it was like
a
wires with little circle magnets about that big, all on my head with a grounding cable on my fucking forehead, bro. And they said it would help my memory, and they like sold me the idea because I had a coma. So that's why I talked about all the frequencies and stuff now, because I realized once they took it, it's real. It's
how were you able to find out what you lost? Do you still have the memory of learning it, but not the knowledge?
I felt like deep in my soul and my brain, connected to like my heart and connected to my every cell in my body. It seemed like, and all my surrounding and like every little vibrational, like I don't know. It's like I was in tune, like perfectly in tune. Not saying
could you possibly be in a constant state of deja vu, so it feels like
hypnosis. Yeah, it feels like my vibe is
like
gone,
information is passing through you and you have a leak rather than it actually being something wiped. So you have the constant sensation of there being something that should have been there that's not there anymore.
Yeah, it's something weird. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know what they do.
Okay, so you've experienced a head trauma of some sort?
Yeah, I had a near-death experience, out-of-body experience, in like a coma dream.
Back up before all of that. What brought you to that position?
Skateboarding accident, about like a 10-foot fall. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. That's. I had a head trauma, and it had a very different effect on me. Before my head trauma, I was every junkie you ever saw walking down the street. After my head trauma, I could not figure out for the life of me why or how I was capable of doing those drugs. I cannot explain that, except that at that same time period, I had had a decision that I was going to quit, but I didn't know how. And then I found out that I couldn't do drugs because I couldn't figure out how. So right after I had this head injury, I went to go get my hair cut. I wanted to shave, haircut. I didn't want to have to worry about trying to do it myself because at the time my hands were shaking because I had fucking brain swelling, right? So I was going to walk down the block, which is 400 yards at most, to a barber that I know. And I walked down the block and got completely freaking lost. I had to call my wife and take pictures of where I was at for her to tell me how to get home. The person I've become since then is almost completely unrelated to the person I was before. Before that moment, I was evil, for lack of a better term. I killed people's channels. I would show up and just it doesn't matter. But there were certain moral things that I just did not take as being a serious consideration because, and this is the best I can explain it, having on the other end of this, right? Because I'm just looking back at the things that I did and trying to explain them. Evil exists, correct? So someone must be there to be the evil, or you will not recognize good when you saw it. And so I believed that my purpose was to represent the evil in the world. And so I did things. I don't excuse myself, none of that. After that head injury, I could not for the life of me figure out why. I can't explain any of it. I did such horrible things. I did them completely without consideration of others. And the concept of altruism was seen as a weakness. Charity and mercy are a weakness. However, now I realized charity is for the weak. You don't give charity by force. No one can make you give charity. If they do, that is a tax, and that is not charity. Charity and mercy are specifically granted to the weak by the strong as a sacrifice of resources. So when you encounter someone that is being charitable, be grateful. They don't have to do that. They could do the other thing. When you encounter someone granting mercy, notice it. You don't have to acknowledge it, but just in your own brain, acknowledge the fact that mercy was granted and who granted it, because that individual is stronger than the situation and than the people in the situation needing mercy, right? Altruism is a little different. Altruism is like posting a black box because you want to be cool with the BLM crowd, right? Altruism is something you do to show that you are charitable, but not necessarily because you believe charity is a virtue, but because you believe other people believe charity is a virtue. I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit too many layers. Denizen, help.
That's good.
Am I just completely nuts? I mean,
no, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. It's
charity
fine.
is like one of the. Sorry.
No, Isaac, finish that sentence. Charity is one.
It's like a fruition of something that was like planted and seeded inside someone's spirit. Is like what I've learned. It's like an end fruit of something to be charitable. Like to know that, like, I don't know. There's something in the heart that's like charitable once you reach that place. Huh?
Charity cannot be granted by a weak man. A weak person in a less than desirable circumstance cannot give you charity because they are barely hanging on themselves. charity, specifically charity as a concept, can only be granted by someone who is in a firm position themselves to those who are not. I encountered a red pill channel. Hey, what's up, Grim Reaper Network? Hit that link, baby. I want to celebrate with you. I got a shot saved just for you. Charity can only be granted by those who are strong enough and have enough resources to live without them. It's a gift. It's a sacrifice done specifically by the strong to benefit the weak, and it is not altruistic in its source. It's given. You give charity to family members without even considering it, but it's more noticeable when you give it to complete strangers, often referred to as mercy. Mercy is what is given to the weak by the aggressively strong. Those people in warfare, in freaking, you get what I'm saying? Like, what's up, Grim?
The redcoats are coming.
They are certainly here. Get ready to toss the tea in the harbor. Grim, are you here?
The old man tossed his microphone in the harbor.
He has still not figured out how to do modern technology. He's still stuck back in the Victorian period. I'll tell you what, dude. You go change your microphone out for a potato that actually works. Some brand of pasta. Yeah, okay. He'll be back in a second, I'm sure.
No, the Confederates are not the redcoats. Lee, there's the graycoats.
Wait, who said something about Confederates being redcoats?
Lee.
Hey, I got a really cool story from not an ancestor. This was someone who produced no heirs in my name, right? In my family name. There is a story. If you want a really interesting read and you're willing to do a little research to find it, there is something called the Shelton Massacre. I think it was North Carolina. It might have been South Carolina.
Sounds vague.
The Shelton Massacre involved the burning of a church by Union soldiers, followed by the burning of a grist mill by Confederate soldiers. An individual named Slick Pete went to one of his cousins, who was a gunsmith, and requested a 45 caliber squirrel rifle. The cousin knew what he was going to use it for, made the rifle, and used an American silver dollar for the front sight. He took this rifle and killed at least 12 Union officers and somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 or 8 Confederate officers that were involved in burning his sister, his wife, his daughter, and several of his cousins and brethren. Right? In the, you there, Graham? Hey, yeah, you're there. Let me finish this a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
So, if memory serves, he was pardoned by General Grant. When Grant became president, Grant pardoned him because Grant looked at what had happened to him and said, yeah, that's exactly what I would have done. What this dude did is he was in the Union Army when they burned his hometown, and he deserted. He joined the Confederate Army when they burned his hometown, and he deserted. And then he executed everyone involved in the damn thing that had more than a price register. All of them. It took him 10 freaking years, and he did 8 of them while the war was still going on. He hunted them down individually and then went to the authorities and said, I have killed 37 people, and I think I should probably be dealt with. And they went, okay, put cuffs on him, stuck him in the jail. They sent it to the governor. The governor was like, wow, that's harsh. And he sent it to the president. The president went, wow, that's really harsh. Let's just let that guy go. So the question came up, are you going to act in aggression against the union in any way? He said, I have no reason to. They let him go.
And that answer is still not a no. Right? He's like, he's saying he has no reason to currently, but like, let's say I get a dog and then the Union Army kills my dog, 6 more officers are gonna have to die for that shit.
Accurate. Totally accurate. Oh, the story goes, at least as the family's concerned, he never remarried. And according, like I said, to family lore, he never used a gun again. So, I mean, make that a Grim. What's up, bud? What's happening across the pond?
You gotta wait for it to go through the tube under the ocean and come back,
all the way through the tube.
Fortunately, there was a major incident over there where 2 kids got killed. Some idiot went into a primary school where they were doing a yoga and dance session on Taylor Swift theme. 7 children were injured, 2 were killed. They got the guy, but unfortunately, it happened.
Went into a school with what?
Sorry?
He went into a school with what?
With a knife. It was a primary school, and they were doing a Taylor Swift dance and yoga session. It was full of kids, and 7 were injured, 2 died.
Taylor Swift is a dangerous performer.
Yeah, you got to ban Taylor Swift and knives.
Grim, I got a question for you.
Yep.
Can you turn down your speakers like 5 to 10%, just a little bit? We're getting feedback.
I'm not getting. Oh, right. Okay. Must be the mic. Got any better?
Well, you're a little lower. Let me see if I can regulate that. Hold on. Don't touch anything, please. Give me a second to work with what I got. Nope, you're tapped out. I can't bring you up anymore.
Yeah, he just turned himself down instead of his speakers.
I have plenty speakers connected to this. Just straight to me.
Okay, I don't care. I don't care. I do not.
Well, you
care.
wouldn't be able to hear us if there weren't speakers. Sorry, Squatch.
You're good, bud. Talk over me. I'm a moron anyway. Apparently, while we've got like 50 people in here right now, the only person talking in chat is Couples Light. I appreciate it, bro. You are my.
That is kind of weird. So
wait, no,
if I can,
hold on 1 second. Here's to you and here's to me, and may we never disagree. But if we do, to hell with you. Here's to me. 5K, bitch.
Yeah, nice. Oh yeah, let me talk.
Speak, D.
Talking.
Good job. Ban volcanic butter knives. Right, 5K bitches. Damn right. I'm gonna highlight that just so everybody can see it. Never saw it coming. Not in a bajillion years. I thought when I uploaded my first video, actually, I'll show you. So I started my channel when I was on vacation, right? And I took a couple of months off YouTube. I cleaned out all my old troll accounts and stuff. I got rid of all that stuff. I absolved myself of my evils, as it were. Born again as a new account. And I went on vacation, planning on starting my channel when I got back. But right before I left for vacation, I came up with the name Caucasian Sasquatch. And I thought that was just so fitting that I decided to go ahead and establish my channel. And I looked at my wife and I'm like, I need a hand. She's like, what? I said, I want to film a couple of things. She said, what? Well, if I'm going to be a Sasquatch, I have to have some monster footage, right? Somebody has to have seen me somewhere and possibly filmed me. So the very first bit, where is it at? There it is. The very first bit of all right, now that I've got that there, of film that I filmed for my channel actually took place before I established it. Now I know that's real dumb. It's just an old monster footage overlay type thing. But consider that I had never filmed anything in my life, had never planned anything in my life, none of that. And that's all it is. It's just a scene of me exiting the water in silhouette. And
that's nice. You filmed that?
Yeah, but my wife filmed it, and I was the guy in the water, of course, because I told her, I was like, it's like a baptism. I'm going under, and I'm going to be someone different when I come out. Hey, ATL, welcome in, bud. And she was like, okay, whatever, just give me the damn camera. And we and then I didn't say another word about it. I left it in the camera. When I got home, I plugged it in the computer that I had just bought, downloaded OBS, downloaded an editing program, and began my YouTube career there. Really. Because everything I had done before that had been done on a phone, and it was all straight recording. And if you go look on my channel, you'll notice a distinct difference between that first week of stuff, which is about 15, 20 videos, a bunch of jokes and stuff, to what happens after that. After that, it gets really cringy because I didn't know what I was doing. And the cringe, I realize now the cringe is part of what attracted the subscribers. It wasn't humorous in the right way. It was different. All right, Steve, that's cool, man.
Is Sasquatch real?
All right. So, have you ever witnessed something you didn't understand? What's up, Flow State? Egg.
Yes.
Okay.
The human race, for example. Continue, please.
But let me finish. If you attempted to explain it, would it make any sense?
I have to think of an actual example to your question now. Hold on. Processing. Right. Keep going, though.
So I have witnessed a thing that I cannot explain. This thing is an individual that I found in a swamp in Georgia who is naked and hairy. I have a few cousins that are almost as hairy as this guy, but they're circumcised, and this dude wasn't. I've never seen any of them wander around in a swamp naked. That being said, this individual did not have a proper nose, right? Like this part, like you know how some black guys have like a really, really squat nose? Not even that. The nose was almost non-existent, except that it did exist as a flap of skin. I can push mine down far enough, but you can't see it. Nancy Pelosi on vacation. So I call it my hobo in a fur coat story, depending upon what day of the week it is. On like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it's a hobo in a fur coat. And on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, it's a Sasquatch story.
Okay, so this could just be a dude, right?
Yeah, no, he was a bikini wax away from voting Democrat. My point being, I am not saying that I saw Sasquatch. What I'm saying is I saw a feral human who might have been a Sasquatch.
Might have been, or might explain.
Okay, let me go a little deeper into this one. Let me read this. I can explain things I don't understand.
Strap yourself in, ladies and gentlemen.
What has occurred?
We're going deeper, bitches.
Oh, well, yeah. I can explain things I don't understand if I know that you also don't understand, and thus can't call me out. Agreed. I actually use that a lot because most people have no fucking clue what they're actually talking about, and I've probably read at least one book about it. Anyway, in this case, this individual that I witnessed, had he been standing 10 foot to the right or 10 foot to the left, I would have never noticed him because his coloration would have fit completely into the environment he was standing in.
He was dirty.
No, he was furry, and he had kind of a weird tortoiseshell kind of coloring.
Yeah, he was covered in the stuff that was everywhere. Mossy.
Fuzzy. Okay, have you ever seen a surfer dude?
Fuzzy and mossy. Have I ever seen a surfer dude?
Yeah, a surfer guy with black hair who's out there surfing like every freaking day, and up next to his scalp, his hair is really, really, really dark, but then out towards the end, it's been sun and salt bleached.
No.
All
but
right.
you're saying his hair was like that.
His hair was sun bleached on the tips as though it had grown in the sun. If that makes sense. I'm not doing this well.
Yeah, like he spends a lot of time outside naked.
A lot of time outside in the sun. My bad. I'm not getting the ding anymore, Flo.
I just showed up, so you're, our connection, our bromance ding went off.
Yeah, I felt the disturbance in the force.
Happy 5K, homie.
Harder. What's up, bud?
But hey, let me not interrupt your story about catalytic converters. I'm sorry.
So I was
flux capacitors is what I meant.
Converters.
Fuck.
Which never happened. I didn't steal them. I purchased them outright.
Those are not my flux capacitors, officer.
Yeah, you're from Louisiana, right?
Who?
Yeah.
Me?
Alabama,
No.
Georgia.
Who?
Georgia.
I'm in Georgia.
Yeah, so where's the swamp?
Okay, so
everywhere.
I'm in a really weird part of Georgia. If you go further south, there's no hills. If you go further north, you're in mountains. Where I'm at's foothills, and at the point I'm at is low foothills. It's referred to as the Piedmont. The swamp is created by beavers.
Are they angry?
I'm sure some of them are less than happy.
Shout out Dag and Norbert.
Right. So what I was getting at with the Sasquatch encounter is that I never deemed it a Sasquatch encounter. Anytime I ever told the story, I always told it as a hobo in a fur coat.
Right.
The part that really baffles me is the fact that, what's up, Fat Rock? Welcome in, bud. The part that baffles me is when I found this guy out there in the swamp, it was in 1997 during one of the worst droughts we'd ever experienced. I was walking across ground that had not seen the light of day probably in 100 years. And I was specifically going to a place called the Medlock Hole, which is a sinkhole under the swamp because we're on top of a karst formation, limestone, right? The Medlock Hole is...
What is this? Never mind. Go ahead.
Ask the question.
I don't need to derail the story with my lack of understanding about that the engineering of swamps.
Okay, no. The swamp is immaterial. The karst formation is a series of caves dissolved out of limestone. In our case, this formation is actually 15 or 20 feet below the surface of the water table. And so we almost never see sinkholes because they're all underwater, right? One of these is referred to as the Medlock Hole. And when I was a kid, all the old people used to say, there's always fish in the Medlock Hole. So when I realized there's no water in the swamp, I decided to go check that out. we'll go see if there's fish in the mud locker. Went out there, and instead of finding fish, I found some dude drinking out of it, and it freaked me the fuck out. It wasn't until several years later, after talking to several other people that had done as much swamp crawling as I had or more, that they called him Steve. They were like, "Oh, you saw Steve?" And I was like, "Who's Steve?" He's like, "We don't really know. It's just some dude that lives out there." And I was like, "Some dude or something?" And the guy I was talking to, I'm not going to say his name, the guy I was talking to gave me a real big grin and said, "Well, try to find a road that goes to that swamp." So over the next few weeks, I did. And I found that every single road that a vehicle could go down had a major significant tree dropped across it. You're not getting into that swamp on a vehicle. You can't take a four-wheeler in there because whoever's done this has done it very cleverly. So
yeah, for sure. For sure.
I just, the fact that an individual protected himself in that way is kind of a strange thing. And he wears no clothes and he lives in a swamp, and there can't be more than 24 islands out there big enough to habitate. And he's doing it. I'm not sure that's human, bro. Just say it. He smelled like rotten cabbage. You ever smelled
that? I don't think I smelled rotten cabbage.
How would you think you would smell if you were feral?
I don't think that I've. Yeah, I don't eat that much cabbage though.
Yeah, I'm not a big cabbage fan either. My wife.
I like cabbage. I do like it.
Tell me, when you eat cabbage, do you eat it with sausage?
Are you setting me up for a joke?
No.
Okay. Yeah, or corned beef, or Katie started making this. She found some Russian soup that's got
borscht.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
I should have known that you'd be the dude who would know about Russian red soup.
Borscht.
Yeah, I was actually, it was on a stream. She didn't say shit. I've never heard of this stuff. She's never made it before, but she brought in food during a stream and just set this bowl of red stuff in front of me without saying a word and left again. And I don't think I responded visibly, but my brain, what is this?
Isn't it just the corned beef that you like, though? Do you really like the cabbage?
I like the cabbage and the potatoes. You boil it all together.
I love potatoes. What I'm saying, doesn't it just?
I love the corned beef, or the cabbage too. Like all that shit is fire. My issue is, look, people will cook corned beef and not add enough cabbage. That's what pisses me off. Sort of like when people make pot roast and don't put enough onions in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I start with a pack of onion soup just to get that out of the way.
No, I'm not even worried about the flavor. I'm talking about the actual onions. Like I like the whole. I have been known to boil onions in beef broth. I have also been poor once or twice.
All right. Were the trees cut with a chainsaw or smashed? These trees. All right. So I heard a story later. I'm not positive it's related. I heard a story later that Kevin, the guy who owned the property over there, had a nervous breakdown after going camping. He comes out from camping, pulls all of his gear out of there, which had been there for 5 years where he was hunting the big buck, right? And he just uproots everything, cuts all of the freaking trees across all of the places that people could take a vehicle in there. And then later, unrelated to what he did, other trees fell across places where four-wheelers could make it. You would need a dirt bike, and then you would have to occasionally carry it to get back there. I mean, it's deep. Right now, you'd need a fucking canoe, to be honest. Like, it's been raining here for like 19 days straight.
We're in luck.
I don't count that as lucky. I would rather have a flat bottom boat, but at minimum, you would need a canoe to get in there. All right, sorry. Back to the borscht. Homie didn't smell like healthy rotten cabbage. He smelled like the description you hear about skunk ape, where it's an inhumanly nasty smell, like wet, hot garbage, but different. That's not a bad description of what it was, because homie's over here drinking out of a stream, out of a freaking puddle in a swamp, right? This is usually 15 foot deep, but right now the only water in this place is in the hole he's drinking out of, and a shoestring of stream that comes out of it. That's it. He's drinking, and I walk up, just as redneck as you could possibly be, no shirt, guns, fishing poles.
Out.
I step up and I'm like, hey man, you probably shouldn't be drinking that. And he looked over his shoulder and I realized he didn't have a nose. And I was like, oh shit. And he just stood up and walked away. He didn't say anything. He didn't grunt. He gave me a disappointed look as if, damn it, I got to go find somewhere else to drink now. My response to this was to take off my shoe and go put my foot in one of his footprints and realize that he's about 11 and a half wide, maybe. And he was built like David Beckham.
So you met the Crypt Keeper.
He's not Bigfoot.
No,
dude. Healthy.
I mean, I wear a 13, so he's obviously not a Bigfoot.
6 foot 6,
11 and a half wide. He said wide. I don't know what wide size. If it were long, he'd have smaller feet than me too.
A wide has
it's a big foot. 11 and a half wide's a big foot, but it's not
bad for a normal.
But it's not a Bigfoot.
My point is, he was built like a European footballer. He looked more on the physical outline, like he was taller, of course, but his physical outline looked like a David Beckham silhouette. Like you could see his muscles and stuff through the fur.
Through the fur.
Not as in I could see his skin, but as in.
So I ask again. You think it could be Sasquatch, or you think it could explain Sasquatch?
It could be David Beckham. We can't rule out Beckham or the Crypt Keeper.
Right. It could have been the Crypt Keeper or David Beckham, but if it wasn't them, I am in the quote unquote cryptid, zoology type stuff. I am in the northern range of what's referred to as the skunk ape, which are typically red colored and smaller than your Western Bigfoot types, right? That being said, I kind of...
You sure you've only read one of those books?
Oh, I've read thousands, but we're not going to do that right now. I kind of chalk it up to being a feral human more than anything else, even if he is a bit of a throwback or sport, as the genetics people like to call it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree, which would explain Sasquatch, right?
In the Southeast, yes. In the Pacific Northwest, no. You're going to play hell trying to convince me that a sport is responsible for thousands of sightings across the upper Northwest of 12-foot tall, 14-foot tall individuals with sagittal crests.
I didn't even understand that answer at all enough to comment on it.
I'm sorry.
No, that's not you.
Big ass heads.
I mean, I think Denizen got it. 2, 22, 22. Oh, he just missed all the twos on the time stamp.
You should probably do some form of celebration. Flow state. Here's to you and here's to me, and may we never disagree. Go fuck yourself.
Well, I was just about to, but then I heard my name.
Don't stop now.
I need to charge my headset.
You know what? It's cool. I can stay. We can talk. I'll just cam down. All right.
You do that, girl.
But you got to keep talking, or else it's going to take me a lot longer.
I got you. Yeah, you need to hear my voice. You want me to tell you you're a good girl? You're a real good girl. Okay, so Yeah, no, Shaquille O'Neal is a good example of an abnormally sized human. You would not expect there to be 157 abnormally sized humans with fur walking around in the Pacific Northwest. Likewise, I would not expect there to be several thousand smaller individuals with fur running around in Georgia and further south. What's up, Stick Man? Welcome in, bud. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah. The WNBA.
Yeah, he's not wrong on that one. That was a good call.
Savage.
Caucasian Sasquatch.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for having me. I have to go somewhere right now, but your show is pretty good. I hope I'm welcome next time as well.
Yes, sir. In fact, if you can throw me an email, I will arrange for a specific show for you to discuss all of this. Okay.
Okay.
As Varun, good to see you again, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yes, sir. You have a lovely evening, afternoon, as the case may be.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Did I miss somebody? Nope. Oh, lost Grim. All right, bud. Right. No, my 10K party is going to be absolutely freaking amazing.
That's my email account. I've written it in the private chat.
All right, brother. I got it.
Thank you very much for having me, Caucasian Sasquatch.
Absolutely, brother. We'll get really deep into it the next time we encounter one another.
That's a threat.
Yeah.
That is
Goodbye,
definitely that's a promise.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Peace.
You didn't tell him deep into what, did you?
And don't let the man get you down.
I like that, and I'm sure it was a cultural, whatever little glitch. But I love the way that he said, "You're pretty good," kind of like. I don't know.
No, there is a bit. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
No,
it's an enthusiastic compliment from his perspective.
Yeah. Oh, sure, for sure. I don't. Yeah. But if Jack Talcott said that to you, actually, that'd probably be. You get what I'm saying, anyways. Go on with your flex. The whatever you're talking about.
Oh shit! Cynthia's in the house.
Oh no, Cynthia. Yeah.
I'm gonna go put on my plate carrier.
You're also gonna need a helmet and a
shotguns and grenades, baby.
Grenades, man! I don't have a plate carrier that'll stop the fucking grenades.
Yeah, we got problems. I'm not really worried about grenades because I'll go get a cannon, like an actual fucking cannon.
That's just like a metal tube, though.
You're not wrong.
There's nothing that's. I mean, they can all be cannons.
No, because you will kill yourself trying to do that. You need a proper metal tube designed to fire objects out one end.
I'm pretty sure I can flux weld you together a cannon.
Oh, sure. With some welding, yeah, it could be done. In fact, that's pretty much how this one was done.
I mean, I don't know about my welding, but
it can be done.
It's gonna be ugly as shit. That's a big ass weld there.
Did you see my new intro?
No, I just got here.
Fuck all of you people in chat. Cynthia, stick around. You'll love this part. I'm going to use this so that I can go use the bathroom and get rid of some of the alcohol I've taken on board. So I went through and re-updated all of my previous guests that I've had on Sasquatch Shills and put together a new intro involving everybody. If there's anyone missing, let me know because I didn't notice somehow. What are the humans doing?
Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demand more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one
Was that snarking sass? Oh my god, it's Yeet.
Signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. So if you think you're ready, you don't need more proof. Conspiracy deniers are denying the truth. They fabricate our problems and pretend to provide the best solution, but we all know they lied. They lied about the weapons and they lied about health. They lied about the fact that they're transferring the wealth. You should really notice how they're pushing the fear. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. Yeah. Everybody's not thinking clear. Keep everybody terrified. Yeah, thinking nothing. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. When you do, you realize that this is a trick. It's getting really stupid now, they're taking the mic. Said, do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies. But no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah, signaling their virtues on their profile.
Make me suck the sushi off this stick. Who the fuck's that guy?
You're the only one that got two, by the way, and it's for that specific quote.
Yeah, that's good shit. That's good shit. You know what though? That's a damn good guess though. Did you say I won a wet t-shirt contest as well?
Bro, I'm sorry. That shit makes me giggle. The first time when I edited that together, I was like, oh, this is such trash. This fucking sucks. It needs something. It needs sushi on the dick. That's what it needs.
I agree. It gives it that little pop at the end.
Yeah. It tickles me to no end. I'm sure it'll be replaced by something eventually, but
as long as it's another clip of me, we're okay. Denizen, don't you move in on my man's.
Bring that shit, bitches. You realize I'm hosting Based Oracle and the Raging Tomato on the same night.
At the same time or at separate times?
No.
Who's going first? Who's going
first? Are they married?
And the only reason Based is first is because I sent out, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 different invites. Was like, hey, I've got an open Thursday. Anybody wants to do a Sasquatch Shields, let me know. Raging Tomato had something already scheduled. She answered first, and I was like, okay, let me know as soon as you can. Based answered, then the Raging Tomato answered, and I was like, you have a choice. We can do 2 on the same night, or you can take the following Thursday. And she was like, look, I've already opened up that night. I'll just do something earlier. We can do yours later. And I was like, fine. I do find it odd that they seem to be streaming at similar times.
You know what? I've noticed that as well. It
almost as if they were some kind of plan involved in them doing something simultaneously.
Or some sort of management,
okay, so that's all we're going to talk about.
And I don't know
a couple of whammon.
But they're subtle enough about it that normies normies
like Denizen.
People won't pick up on the patterns because
normies like Denizen, ladies and gentlemen.
No, not like Denizen.
Denizen's not normal.
No, yeah, no. He probably picks up on more patterns than me, unless maybe about the same as you. I don't know. I'm probably sure I'm the one that around on this panel that misses things.
I don't know. You've got a certain something that happens. I don't know how to explain it. Like I told everybody earlier, I'm studying Flow Stage channel in hopes of bottling that shit and selling it to YouTubers.
I'm an open book without a cover. So I have a unique perspective into how humans process information. And my conclusion thus far is, with very, very, very few exceptions, they're fucking bad at it.
Well, we know that you're a narcissist, but we were talking about me, motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
Oh, what? Were we done with that? I guess
that was still funny.
You killed the
just riding it a little bit. It was funny enough to keep going.
What? Oh, the silence? Nah, hell nah. Not after last night's. We had the record breaker last night. Did I lose?
His internet dropped out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's trying to bottle up and sell, but if he ever figures it out, then I hope he lets me know.
I'm pretty sure it's just good old fashioned snake oil.
I mean, right. Yeah, probably.
Like I kind of like the guy. He's extremely intelligent, but he's like 90% of the time he's just completely bullshitting.
What? You about Steve?
Steve. Oh no, I don't know. That could have happened. My thing was
you don't believe in.
I asked about this. No, I don't. But I asked about the swamp,
right?
Because that makes perfect sense to me. That would be like an inbred dude who's like been living outside for 100 years. You know, like 2 generations.
No, I've never I live in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't go those places. I lived in a small town once and I hated it. I'll never do it again.
Could be somebody who ate his own nose. Could have had some kind of disease, like a cancer or something. Frostbite. Yeah, exposure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think things like that, explain the most phenomenon. And I don't even think we really understand the stuff that we like talk shit about. Like we know what we're talking about. So of course I leave room for the the fringe stuff to be even more understood than it currently seems to be,
Well, sure. It's not about the impossibility of things existing that we haven't experienced ourselves. It's about understanding the things we have experienced. That was profound. Most people probably missed it.
It's hard.
I'm dropping my own mic. I'm impressed with myself.
But
yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
You are back now.
According to my my StreamYard, it still hasn't loaded.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, you're up on
a early gig. Don't know.
Sounds like you got a weak connection going on right now.
Yeah, no, something horrible. What's weird is like I'm the only person functioning in the house. I was streaming earlier and I had like a dozen people using devices all over the place. And suddenly at 3 a.m. it decided it's not going to do it. Oh, wait, let me check. Have you ever heard of the 3 a.m. purge?
It's probably, I don't know what time it is there, but it's
East Coast. YouTube purges subscribers at 3 a.m. Let's see how that went. Oh, look, I have like exactly 5,001. No, wait, no, 5,014. Thank you. Thank you all. That might actually keep me from losing my 5K count.
What's the 3 a.m. purge?
In your time zone, it's probably different. So
I'm an hour behind you.
Yeah. It'd be 4 a.m. But every night, YouTube does a limited purge of supposedly, now what they say is it's bot accounts, unused channels that haven't been operated in months and months and months and months. But as far as I've been able to determine, it's just the point in time that they unsubscribe people from your channel for whatever reason.
It's because I'm a revolutionary and they're scared of my power.
Right. That's obviously it.
That's why I'm shadow banned. That's why they had to do Tupac, because
bitch, if you do a few of my suggestions, you wouldn't be shadow banned anymore.
You can get me.
I literally turned on my computer because I was like, you know what? That was a great time to do some of those suggestions, and because Katie's not in the room right now, and I'm not streaming right now, and I was like, oh, he's live. And I was like, that's okay. I needed to not get distracted. And then I was like, oh, he just hit 5,000.
I don't believe you.
Well, so I don't believe Steve.
I don't care. I really don't care. It's your channel. You do as you please. You know my philosophy on that. It's your channel. If you don't like the suggestions, move on to something else. I'll suggest something
that I wouldn't tell you if you gave me a shitty suggestion.
No. In order to get unshadow banned, you have to make a new channel.
That is getting froggy as a motherfucker, y'all. Based is going to bed because he's a bitch. That's
for sure.
I'll see you Thursday, bud.
I ruined one of his schemes. I'm not going to tell you what it was.
Oracle.
Because I invented it before he implemented it, but after he had already decided that this is what he was going to do.
I have my doubts on that, bud.
Based Oracle.
Human pulse has beaten a man's chest. People have been conning motherfuckers out of rocks.
Oh, I didn't get shit out of it. I guess it's not too late for me to like implement the idea myself, but I don't think it would really work for me. The circumstances are different.
You know what's funny here is because he says brother shirts, you know, next.
Stop snitching on yourself.
He started that, but who has 5K?
What you talk about, Willis?
Oh, that's me. Dude, I never saw this shit coming. When I started my fucking channel, I was gonna read fucking westerns, and then I was like, okay, well, fine, I'll do some smart ass remarks about some different people on the internet. And since my mic was fucked up, I had to figure out something else to do. And what ended up happening is I would join panels and talk to people, but I had a process, and this sounds absurd. Planned exclusivity. This is a game theory concept born from the idea that people want things they can't have. So the way I work this is right. What would TK Sass be like this? Like a much bigger head? Anyway, so the process works like this. People want things they can't have. How do you make yourself a thing they cannot have? You have to put yourself in front of them in places that make them want to have you, and then tell them no.
Like a lightning storm.
He's playing hard to get.
He is. He's definitely playing hard to get.
It's classic fucking passive aggressive bullshit. Yes, you're correct. Exactly. Psychologically speaking,
it's playing hard to get passive aggressive.
This is a cock tease. You're being a cock tease, is what you're saying.
Caucasian tease, even.
Oh, I see what you did there. That's nice.
Damn it, my headset cut out. What do you say?
Man, it's gone. Don't. Sucks.
Wait, did I just lose everybody?
Can you see me?
I can see you, but I think I lost YouTube in that one.
Oh. Still says you're live on mine. Yeah, you're on. Wait a second.
It says I'm up.
No, you're good. You're live.
Yeah, that might be you. That's a youth. Okay, Cynthia, fix your shit.
Yeah.
Listen.
And stop blaming everyone else for your problems, Cynthia.
Red dye 40, bitch. I'm allergic to that. Y'all back off of that shit. You know that's beetle carapaces?
Man, I know. I forgot about it.
You're welcome.
You bitch. Whatever.
We don't want to know, right?
I love me some beetle carcass in my food.
I'll forget again.
Make it red.
I can't do it.
Yeah. I don't eat McDonald's.
Do y'all remember the Christmas Captain Crunch that was all crunch berries?
Yeah.
Yes.
That shit was lame.
It almost killed me.
The crunch berries are the only edible part of anything Captain Crunch related.
Absolutely not. In fact,
that peanut butter bullshit, like the fake chemical peanut butter bullshit.
That's overrated. It's good, but it's overrated. But what I really want, and I need to tell Miss Flo because she keeps buying fucking crunch berries, is I just want plain Captain Crunch.
You just want what?
I just want regular, old school, original Captain Crunch with no berries.
Yeah, it's like styrofoam peanut butter.
No, we're not talking about I'm not talking about the peanut butter. There's another kind besides just the peanut butter crunch and the crunch berries.
Yeah, Captain Crunch though was kind of peanut buttery to begin with.
Bro, no, I eat a lot of cereal. In fact, I'm going to eat some now.
I can second this idea. I've seen this man eat an absurd amount of fucking cereal.
But tell him, your brain is confusing two different cereals into one.
Negative.
Listen, this man goes off camera on the regular just to wolf down a fucking bowl of cereal where y'all can't see it. He doesn't go off camera. He drops himself backstage and then starts shoveling in like he's some kind of freaking heathen. I love it. It's great.
Why does he have a picture of me on his wall? See, this is the question, right, ladies and gentlemen?
Because he obviously has some unrequited love for Denizen.
I'm saying, I believe this to be true. I'm sorry, Katie. I am not any threat to your relationship, but
Frozen Gardens, welcome in. It's like
maybe if I were drunk enough, I don't know.
Frozen Gardens says that your Captain Crunch is lavender Fruit Loops.
It's lavender like Fruit Loops. Let me think here.
That's another thing.
Man, it's nutty.
Hey, let me tell you how I found out I was allergic to sunflowers.
Flow state.
What
is it? Like lavender.
This
like
is a Captain Crunch.
Yeah, I know. Is it lavender
this
like
is
Fruit
a berry.
Loops? Oh my fuck's sakes!
The peanut butter ones are the color of the original Captain Crunch, but are the shape of the berry. It's a third cereal.
Yes, but the original is still peanut butter flavor. Would you say the original is lavender like Fruit Loops?
You're gonna be fucking lavender if you keep Fruit Looping.
Yeah, see? So, whoever that was in the chat.
I don't actually eat cereal.
Because you're gay.
You know how I know you're gay?
That's not the point. Listen, my point is that when I don't have teeth like most people do. Like I had to have those things removed. So cereal
I had to build up the calluses on the roof of my mouth to get for this Captain.
I feel you, bro. I tried. I love Cocoa Puffs like nobody's fucking business, man.
Oh my god, why do you guys suck so much?
Shut up. I like black women too. Back off. What I'm saying is
Cocoa Puffs and fucking Captain Crunch is the worst.
The color doesn't matter.
I call him Count Chocula. Anyways, so you were talking about your swamp teeth. Go ahead.
Right, swamp teeth. So I did a bunch of drugs when I was younger, but also I had a few injuries, and all of this compounded to basically create a cesspool. My fucking StreamYard just started loading again. Anyway, I ended up with a massive infection like under my left eye that was closing off my entire left sinus. And so when I was younger, I kind of thought like
I'm trying to eat food, so I'm going to mute you for just a minute. I'll be right back. Go ahead, keep talking. I'm just muting the tab.
Muting me or muting you? Mute you, bitch. Listen.
I'm muting both of us for about 60 seconds.
Crunch motivator. So when I had all of that shit fixed, right, I realized a couple of things. One, I'm allergic to gum arabic that will take the skin off of the inside of my mouth. Two, I can't use Polident of any description. That is just out. And so I had to have a fit that actually fit my teeth and my mouth enough to be able to actually use my teeth without anything facilitating it, right? Because of that, I don't eat with teeth in. Period.
Wait, what?
I can't. If I get something, because my teeth fit so tightly that it's held in by vacuum, I have to pry them loose to get them out. It's an effort. It's not a no meat thing. No, I will tear up a steak. I will rip a steak right off the side of a rhinoceros, bake that fucker up and eat it. No issues. That's more determination than anything else.
I'm so confused right now.
Couples Light said that was a no meat diet. Right.
You don't have teeth?
I have teeth. I bought them. I paid $5,000 for the top.
So you take them out when you eat?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
I know. My dentist had an issue with it too. But here's the thing. If they make the teeth in a way that lets me chew with them, then I have to use some form of adhesive to keep the bottom ones in the right spot. And I'm allergic to the adhesive. All of them I've tried so far. So I just do not eat in public. I have to take part of my face out to do so. And so I don't do it. It's totally worth it. It's absolutely. Let me tell you, watch this.
I don't know what you're talking about because you're muted, but I just got half a chub.
That's because I'm that sexy, bitch. Right? So we've got about 8 minutes left on this. If anybody wants to bug out before we end, if you're one of those that like to pull out early.
Sub to my shit, y'all.
Y'all sub to his shit. Hold on. Dennis, drop your link backstage. I'll do the whole thing in my chat. Right. And we'll get you in next week if you want to, week after. I'm supposed to do all right. So I ended up with 2 Sasquatch shills on the night that I usually do my YouTube slave class. Oh, you did good, bud. You did good. Yeah, we'll make that happen everywhere it can. Although I'm pretty sure it's just here and there. I don't think.
Who are you talking to?
You and your mama.
She wants to know what I did good at.
You did good at talking enough shit to motherfuckers to give you money for absolutely fucking nothing except sitting there and eat Captain Crunch.
Did somebody send me a super chat?
Not yet that I'm aware of. I didn't see it. Hold on, I'll check.
I mean,
wait, did you didn't link your channel, so shut up.
I thought Denizen was doing it.
What am I doing?
Linking, but you've got like no time left, so don't bother because you don't love me. You know why I don't share your stros on my channel?
Denizens?
Have I ever explained that to you?
Me? No.
No, Flo.
No, because I don't know. Do you not share it much?
No.
Do you share other people's? Are you sharing other people's but not mine?
Yes.
He shills, literally.
Allow me to explain. When you made me a producer on your channel, you made me your channel. So in order for me to share on my channel, I have to make you a producer on my YouTube. So if I were to share,
you can't restream because I gave you keys.
Basically, I can, but depending on how many places you stream to determines whether or not there's a space open for me to add my channel. And if there is a space open to add my channel, when I do, that would give you the ability to start a stream anytime you wanted to on my channel.
Which is why I did that. I mean, because common courtesy designates reciprocity, and I'm just trying to get the soldiers in the horse, you know?
Sure. But what I'm saying is we never had that conversation.
No.
It never came up, and we haven't really been like backstage privately long enough to actually have that discussion. To be like, I'm gonna hook up my
I just pulled out of my ass right now to give you shit about, you know.
Well, okay, well, you have a choice. You can eat shit or die. Don't care.
I'm eating junk. I eat shit all the time. I'm like eating cereal right now.
I like to grin like a mule eating briars while I eat my shit.
I eat bullshit. I basically live off cereal and Chipotle.
Bullshit. Wait.
And borscht.
I'm not sure we're actually streaming on YouTube currently. Oh, wait. It does seem to be happening over here, but not over here. That is weird. Why is one channel working but the other one not? That's so messed up.
Mexican pizza.
Oh, I owe a denizen a retraction, and I'm not going to apologize because I'm not that kind of person. But a retraction. I had never noticed the peanut butter undertones in Captain Crunch.
Hell
yeah! You mentioned them. I can sort of see it, even though I'm eating crunch berries. So even though I'm right, you're not wrong either.
Yeah. No, I knew there was a peanut butter flavor one, but it kind of just, I don't know that I've ever had it. It was the undertones of the original that made my taste buds just laugh. Especially because I was a big fan of actual peanut butter, you know, like the kind you get at the hippie store.
My when I met my ex-wife's, when I first started dating my ex-wife, the first time I ever had pancakes at her family's house, they put peanut butter on their pancakes and syrup. Now I had never encountered this before. Yeah, and I thought it was really weird when they're like, I didn't know. Yeah, they're like, "Do you want peanut butter?" And I'm like, I was confused by it, and then they explained that they put it on their pancakes and it's really good. And I was like, "No, that sounds gross. I'll just have syrup like everybody else does." And they were all like, her dad was out of the room at the time. They were all like, "Don't tell Mike that you don't like peanut butter on your pancakes." I'm like, "What the fuck kind of family is this,
bro?"
And now,
go ahead.
I can't put them on blast like that, but there's only one other place I've ever been still to this day that gives you peanut butter with your pancakes. Anybody know where that is?
Denny's
County Jail.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, Denny's, that makes sense. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are reaching the end of Sober Sasquatch Shills. This isn't a Sasquatch Shills. We're doing something totally. 5,000 subscribers, folks. 514 last time I checked. Interesting. Neat. Right? Does IHOP? Actually, I find waffles to be atrocious. I prefer pancakes.
Agree. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, and couples like, welcome to my channel. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, no, I told him it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's delicious chaos.
But yes, it is. It is for sure. But I didn't want to lose them. Waffles are overrated, as is Tom Hanks.
Waffles are the burnt edge pancakes put into one big pile. That's all it is. Like the
waffles
like
are superior. Waffles are the white people of breakfast.
Okay, well then pancakes are more powerful and more numerous. So eat me.
Waffles are like the baked chicken breast of chicken.
Waffle power.
That's a better now. I don't know what. You know what? Waffles suck, and if it weren't for their shape and that cool pattern that holds the syrup, right? They gotta design the structure. They have to appeal to you with the structure, because if it weren't for the structure and the engineering of the food brick, you would know that it tastes like shit compared to pancakes.
Well, what's toast? Belgian for Sig Heil?
Look, French toast and pancakes are in a superior class.
Hold on, Denizen got you on that one. I'm sorry. That was fucking great.
I didn't even hear what he said.
He said, "What's Belgian for Sig Heil?"
The waffles, we are the superior races.
Waffles are the superior race. Oh wow. Oh, so funny. I'm gonna wake up in the morning and start laughing about that crap.
Crispy pancakes are annoying.
With no Krispy Kreme pancakes, obviously you need more butter.
I don't actually eat pancakes at restaurants though, because restaurants only have the fake maple syrup, and I'm such a connoisseur. We have a Sam's Club membership because of maple syrup. Like, the price difference is good enough at Sam's Club, and I eat so much of the shit that yeah, it's worth the drive.
I like a good flapjack. So it's
now you got a point there.
It's a pan.
But that's just a pancake, right?
Yeah, it's like a pan-sized biscuit. It's fluffy on both sides, crispy on the edges and the top. You know, it's not. It looks like a pillow.
You're much more of a nuanced food
Eater.
Consumer.
Yeah.
What is a piglet?
I've done more drugs.
I've done.
Which is probably also true and impressive, because I am no slouch.
Yeah. I'd be just about willing to take the Pepsi challenge on one of you motherfuckers out there, bro.
Yeah, like the three of us are probably like, yeah.
This panel's probably a probation violation somehow right now.
Accurate. All right. Listen. I'm gonna end this shit because things have gotten completely normal, and I'm not a huge appreciation of normal. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate every moment y'all spend in my chat. Thank you for joining us. 5,000 subscribers is amazing. I hope to do a 10,000 subscriber one, and when I do that, hopefully it'll be mobile. We'll see how it goes. Snowfire, welcome back. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute. Yeah, they only come out tonight.
It's true.
So here's the question. I have several different outros left over. Some of them I haven't used in a minute. I'm thinking about I'm going to do this the only you outro is what I call it. It's a compilation that I put together based off of a Nerdrotic video where he said something similar to what I wanted to say, and so I edited it down until it said what I wanted it to say. So before I go, Flo, stop chewing for a moment, all right? Because you got to say stuff. Say stuff.
Hold on. I want to hear you say that sentence again. He said something you wanted to say.
He said something very similar to what I wanted to say, and I edited it down to say exactly what I wanted to say.
I really like how you framed that.
Well, I mean,
I really do.
Go ahead.
Okay. My name's Flow State. I do daily content about the rainbow life. I review sex toys, primarily massive dildos. And I'll link my channel in the description box. If you love daily dildo reviews, you're going to love Flow State.
And the other dildo reviewer I have, Denizen, tell them about you.
Yeah, so my name's Denizen X, and I like to jerk myself off mentally on the internet. Follow me on the YouTubes and on the Twitters, now known as X, because Elon Musk is my new technocratic overlord. Must obey. Follow me, sub to my shit.
Yeah, do that thing.
Crackers
are the best part of the breakfast. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the 5,000 subscriber stream. I can't thank you. There's no way I could thank you enough. All of you are absolutely amazing.
You can cash at me.
I'm not going to give you $1 until I pay off the debts I have. Although I'll help any way I can.
But not with $1. All right. Go ahead.
One. Once I'm making money on YouTube, we can discuss donations, but I can't go, and I'll explain that. You give me 10 minutes in the backstage, I'll explain why I can't go to my wife and say, hey, I'd like to give some money to some YouTubers. Here, y'all listen to this while I sit around and think about the decisions that brought me to this point in my life.
3, 2, 1.
And here we go.
On my own, here we go.
If you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror.
The communists declared that the real differences among our people constituted the weakest and most vulnerable point in our social fabric.
It's MAGA country.
This is no hoax, ladies and gentlemen. I urge you to run for your lives while you can. We're not making this up just so we can take over the world.
The old dinosaur media isn't dying, it's dead. We are the new media. This is our world now. Lay down and die.
Peace was never an option. So if we don't step up and win this culture war, then who the fuck will?
Let's wake the fuck up!
We're gonna get naked.
No.
I'm locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
That's what you've been waiting for. Be the one we need.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Global industrial complex.
Yep.
Uniparty.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
The point is to destroy Western civilization from within using Maoist technique. So therefore you have to vote for me.
I don't know. This is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Woke is Marxism, evolved to attack the West.
Stop giving up.
It's only just begun. Now!
Do it! Yes, you can!
I'm gonna do what's called a pro gamer move.
Just do it!
Are people bitching about that?
Some people.
Of course they are. Oh, fucking A. All right, got it. Yeah, too fucking bad.
All right.
Yeah.
Far left conspiracies, to be honest with you.
Ain't no single entity going to swoop in and save the day. You are going to be continuously let down if you place all of your hope into one individual. Instead, look inside and look around. We're doing this together.
We all are fighting for the same thing, and we all see the same problem.
It's time to stop being an NPC, get off your ass, and join the meme war.
Shame. Shame.
No, I don't like you.
Shame.
If we were in the wild, I would attack you.
I'm sick of it, man. I'm fucking sick of it. I will not do it again.
Thank you.
I wonder how many people feel exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Be the beating drum at the head of the growing creative cavalry charge. Be vocal and profound in your passion for projects you enjoy.
No more excuses.
I've seen it. I can't even compute all of it. It's so fantastical. You've not seen nothing. You ain't heard nothing. You ain't smelled nothing like this. I don't have words to tell you.
A new world order.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction.
Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make. Hey, wait a minute!
You control population, you destroy the family, and then you you sow division.
You don't need a destination when you're running on an omnidirectional treadmill.
Are we ready for a new world order?
You'll never defeat the human spirit. You'll never defeat God. You'll never win.
Pray that he is watching.
Against all the evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you.
On my own, here we go. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
So remember, when you ask, who do you look to for help? It's you. You're the only one.